4.
Gather round, freaks. Have you ever dreamt of a better podcast? Clearer, more funnier, more betterer. One single episode unlocks your funny bones, starting a new podcast division that will release another podcast. This is Hey, Did You See This One?
In a world where society tells you to doubt your strength, question your intelligence, and dim your light, we search for voices to tell our stories. Voices to empower us,
uplift us, and keep us heard by the masses. These are the voices of powerful, resilient, and talented women who aren't afraid to speak up and speak loudly. Women who teach us to be brave, to be vulnerable, and to believe in ourselves. So, Hey, Did You See This One? Invites you to Feminist Masterpiece Theatre.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hey, Did You See This One? The weekly Radical Review discussion.
Did you say the weekly Radical Review? The weekly Radical Review.
Where we have to take a movie, pull it apart, put it back together, talk about every GD moment in the whole effing thing. Gosh darn it.
You're a dad now. You're not allowed to curse anymore.
I'm not allowed to curse because it's YouTube and they don't let me do ads for the show when we curse.
All right, you don't need to explain YouTube every freaking week.
I'm getting to why it's going to be tough this week. Buckle down your hats because we're talking about The Substance, which is one of the grossest body horror movies made in the last probably 20 years. I don't know if that's true, but we're going to discuss that and more this month on the show. Hey, did you see this one? When we go back to Feminist Masterpiece Theatre. This is episode 236. The Feminist Masterpiece Theatre curtains have opened. Unfortunately, B couldn't join us. B Dolly was supposed to be on this week. However, joining us all month, each and every week this month, Noel K is back. Finally. Haven't seen Noel in a hot second.
I put on a shirt.
Why? Because it's 9,000 degrees here in Toronto right now.
Yeah. I was wearing less than a shirt before, yes, correct.
Yeah. It's hot out here.
I've never felt sweat in my belly button. That's part of the that's part of the podcast.
Is there a chicken in your belly button?
There's some belly button stuff in this podcast and I don't like it.
Chicken out of your belly button. My name is the J Substance, or Philip Substance, and I'm joined as always by Stephen Boba Blackfly Waters.
That's me.
We're your illustrious hosts. I'm going to bring us through the substance this week. But before we get that, I think we have to appease the number one overlord.
Number one overlord. Where is he?
Zardoz speaks to you. He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how why, who, what occurs in this film.
In the same, I'm going to start doing this. Check this out. In the same amount of time or less than Zardos explained that, Noel, can you tell us the basic premise of this film?
Oh shit! I forgot that was my job during this month.
It is. It's your one job during this month.
Okay.
Steve left. He's out of here for a few minutes.
Oh boy. Okay, so
minute.
the Substance is a movie about an aging former actress, now aerobics instructor person, who is struggling with aging. So she gets this black market drug that splits her into two. There's a whole bunch of warnings about how she's not actually two, they are one. And the two versions of herself learn to hate each other, sabotage each other, and then the younger one siphons all of the older one's life out, and then it becomes Evil Dead in the theater.
That's what I thought.
And she turns into goo, and we're done. That's the movie.
That's
pretty much. It's pretty much it.
I am glad that I added that new. I'm going to be doing that from now on.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Thanks, Steven. You finally recognized me. I'm sorry. That's dumb.
Do you like my background?
I do. It's great. It looks like you're getting.
But it's in my head.
Looks like you're getting the substance right to the brain.
Right to the brain.
Right to the brain stem. Nope. Okay. Well, that was great. Let's go into our brief histories.
A brief history.
I was trying to say the word case. Couldn't think of it. I think I need some of that substance for my brain. Well, B chose this movie, I think, the last time she was on. I think we were meant during Jennifer's Body. I think she wanted to talk about it because she's in the movie film industry, including some other industries, and probably has a connection to this movie.
Yeah, and more specifically, she's in like the world of like commodification of like the female form, you know, like where it's just like it's like her bread and butter and has been for a long time, right? So
I think that's.
I was really interested to see what her like thoughts were because she likes this movie, right? I also wanted to see what her cosplay was going to be because she always does cosplay for the show. I'm like, is she going to be a goo monster? Is she going to be an aerobics instructor? Is she going to do costume changes throughout?
And sadly, you just got me.
Yeah. Well, you can be a goo monster if you want.
I was in the commodification of women's bodies business at some point.
You were as well. So
absolutely.
I
mean, now I'm an aging former cool guy who's a chonk monster, but would not resurrect my 30-year-old self because I am.
Now you're a cool.
Already.
Now you're a cool bookworm. Anyway, Noel, why don't you go ahead and go? Why don't you go ahead and go first? Tell us all about it.
Okay, so this movie, obviously I heard about it. I listened to podcasts, like movie review podcasts, and many of them, like most of them, did a review on The Substance at one point or another. I had no intention of ever watching this movie, ever. It's not that I dislike. I am a Weenie Hut Jr. I can't do psychological horror. I can't do, what's the brain? Body horror.
Body horror, yeah.
I just like cannot. Those are like just body horror is one of the things I fear the most. That's why I fear pregnancy. No, it's like anything body horror. I just can't do it.
This movie has a body horror moment every 15 minutes, almost to the
I had legitimately no intentions to watch it. I wanted to stay as far away from this movie as possible, even though I heard it was good. There's no chance I was going to watch it. And then you sent it to me, and I went, crap. That's my history with this.
That happened with Megan 2.0 as well, right? Sometimes your friends force you to watch something and then you're like, you know what? It was actually worth it. Maybe it was worth it.
We'll discuss.
Was it?
That
was it worth it? Like,
I'm not saying it's like everyone hold on. I don't hate it just because I'm not a fan of the genre. That's not how a Noel rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Noel's Rolls.
But I do roll because I'm a
New
chop
rolls.
monster.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so yeah, I mean, my brief history with this movie is that I watched it yesterday. It's been on my radar for a while.
We watched it at the same time, right?
I think you started watching it like right as I was getting to the end of it. But yeah, I had never seen it. I was pretty aware of what it was about, and just from the trailer, I'm like, I can probably piece together what this movie is going to be, and every prediction that I had about the movie was 100% correct. But I didn't see the last 20 minutes of it coming in the way that it did. I was like, okay, I saw that coming, but really I didn't at all. Like I was so confused at the end. I was like, what's going on? And then it kind of I started putting everything into perspective. Like, I guess that's what the movie has been the entire time. Everything has been weird and strange for the entire movie. It's just the fact that it's going to this next level that really puts you into this like hyper focus of like, yeah, that was, everything else was also just as weird as this. It's just now this is really putting it all out there until a next level. Like Noel, I've listened to a couple of discussions about it, but I did want to watch it, so I didn't listen to like in-depth detailed podcasts or reviewers because I didn't want to get too spoilered on it. But yeah, I liked it. There's a lot of things I didn't like about it, but those things are kind of intentional, so I will give it a pass for a lot of it. I think it's a good movie, but yeah, I'll get to that stuff when we get to the end of the discussion. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
and nothing more.
For me, and nothing more. For me, it was I saw the trailers for it, and I also was like, I'll never be able to watch that. But shortly after it came out on VOD, because even though I'm pretty desensitized, it was kind of like, even though I'm pretty desensitized, I was still like, that looks like something that would mess me up a bit. And surprisingly enough, it uses all practicals, so it looks very practical and it looks very cool. So I didn't really have a problem with it, and also I couldn't resist facing sort of that fear, and also I was so curious about what it was because I wasn't spoiled on that last 20 minutes. I wasn't spoiled on basically anything from the movie. I managed to see it early enough that I didn't even really know what it was. So when I finally watched it, I was blown away. I was blown away by it. It kind of pays homage to a lot of horror, like all the movies we did last month, and adds some new stuff, has some pretty iconic moments, I think. And I really love this movie. Spoilers, it's like a 5 out of 5 for me. I think it's a great, I know you guys both have your reservations about it, but I really enjoyed it. But it represents being able to pretty much handle a lot of different gore than I've ever been exposed to, and it's so fucking weird. It's like one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen, which I love about it. So I rewatched it this week, and I picked up on some stuff I missed because I think when I watched it the first time, I didn't. Oh no, I did sit down and watch it. I don't know. It kind of entered my brain and left my brain, though. I think that it's shocking, but it's also shocking a second time. So it's pretty much my history with it. I love all the actors in this movie too. It's got a great cast.
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage just like hearing you talk. There's just one caveat here. Because I don't watch this genre like ever, I know there's a lot of really incredible body horror stuff out there. One of the only ones that I was exposed to was the comic book Uzumaki about people turning into snails. And like, so there's good stuff in the genre, but I don't have anything really to compare it to. Like I can compare it as a movie and at like all the usual things that you compare about films, but like, that's why I was so curious to have
I think that's
Dee
totally
on. Because I really wanted to hear her thoughts on this one. So,
but I think that's also fine, like in terms of a discussion, because I have a decent amount of experience in body horror. Jason is sort of newer to it, so I think it's kind of like even across the board in terms of like, because I don't really love body horror either, but there are some body horror movies that are some of my favorite movies ever made, right? Like, The Thing,
Well,
for example.
Like The Thing. Yeah.
I hope you guys check your creatine and pre-workout and your Robaxacet because y'all be doing a lot of heavy lifting. This episode.
My Robaxacet is in my backpack as we speak because I threw my back out about a month ago.
Oh, I know what age group I'm talking to.
Yep, sure do.
Gotta pump it up.
You gotta pump it up. I'm closer to old hag to me more than I am young. What's her face? Sue. So we can probably.
Were you saying? Sorry. No.
What? Oh, I was gonna say too. When I was watching it the second time, speaking of you not liking horror, I was thinking of you going, "This is actually much worse than I remember it to be." And Noel like never watches horror. I think I might have blocked out some of the like grosser stuff. Some of the stuff isn't even like traditional horror gore. It's just
the
like
chicken.
Gross. Yeah, it's just there's stuff in this that's just gross.
I mean, I was gonna talk about it as we go, but like eyeball stuff is really I can't handle. And fingernail stuff I can't handle, and belly button stuff I can't handle. This movie does all of those, and teeth stuff. I don't like when teeth fall out.
I can't do needles.
Needles I'm okay with, and I'm okay like when she was stitching up her back and stuff. I was like completely fine with all that. Because I mean, my brain, I have like a disconnect where I'm like, that's just a puppet, and she's just stitching two pieces of latex together. So like my brain is able to disassociate with it.
Yeah, but how many stitches have you gotten in your life, or things have you been poked with?
Lots of times, like enough times that I know what it feels like.
Do you pass out every time?
No, but
I faint literally every time I get blood drawn. So, and if I watch someone like needle themselves, no matter what context, I start to pass out.
But I also know what it's like when you peel a fingernail.
Things.
When you peel a fingernail backwards, right? Like that, how painful it is, and how there's nothing you can do about it, and you're just looking at it, being like, "How do I stop this and heal it?" And you can't. There's nothing.
Oh no, I'm saying my injections is your nails. Like
absolutely. I understand. I'm just giving a reference as to the things that fuck with me. Like I don't like some people like to touch other people's belly buttons. I've had a few people in my life that like doing that, and I'm like, you get your fucking fingers away from my belly button now. You're not getting my insides. No one's getting my insides.
Then I won't tell you the story about how my belly button exploded when I was a baby.
I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that at
all. To get retied.
Don't tell me about this.
Retied.
Don't tell me about this. Okay, belly buttons are gross. I hate them. They're scary.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I experienced chicken coming out of mine.
But I mean, I can see a million people get injected, but that back needle as the movie goes just gets grosser and grosser and grosser, right? Like that's pretty gross. Like I was like, that's really pussy. Pus is also a thing that always grosses me out. Anyway, we should probably get into production talk. We're just going to talk about gross shit forever. Yeah. Here we go.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit.
Sound. Speed. Action!
So this was a resounding success. It won one Academy Award and was nominated for 5 total. There's something that like beat Demi Moore out for Best Actress that year, and it wasn't. Everybody's like, it should have been her. Anyway,
hiccuped.
Very nice, very good.
Thank you.
It won Best Screenplay at the Cannes Film Festival as well. It cost 18 million, and worldwide made 77.3 million. So, sequel? Probably not.
This is not a sequel movie.
No, this isn't a franchise movie. Unless they do, if straight to DVD still exists, I could see them be like The Substance 2, and it's just trash.
I really have to look up who won that year. What was it? 2022?
2024.
2024.
Yeah. Best Actress, 2024.
Best Actor in a
Emma
lady
Stone
role.
for
Poor Things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like, it's
yeah, that's definitely a better performance. I mean, Demi Moore's not bad in this, but she's basically just playing Demi Moore, and it's There's some parts in this movie where I was laughing so hard at her because she's so when she's cooking all the food, it's so funny. Like when it cuts to her and she's just like like the egg batter is going all over. Funny.
Is production talk where we talk about the acting?
We can. I don't have anything to say about the production of this. I had zero time to do any research this week, so I don't have anything to say about it other than I've never seen anything the director's made other than this, and probably an episode of The Sandman that she directed.
Yes, I did read up on that. Apparently, Revenge was her movie before this, and it was like one of those girl is raped and then goes on.
I saw that.
Yeah,
it is a genre.
It's a rape revenge movie. Indeed.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was very breaking because there was a lack of diversity in the horror genre, and it was one of the ones that.
Oh no, I didn't see Revenge. I saw another one that was exactly the same as Revenge.
Is Revenge French?
Yes, I believe it is.
So they filmed this in France.
The director was born in France.
Did anyone pronounce her name? So Coralie, what is it? Fargeat?
Fargeat?
Fargo?
Oh, I know why I was confused. Demi Moore won Best Actress at the Golden Globes that same year.
So the fake Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing a great job with production talk so far. But yeah.
Let's all look at IMDb and Wikipedia.
So Coralie, what I did read about her is that she's part of Collectif. I believe it's 50-50 for gender parity in the film industry. So that was pretty cool. Like she seems like one of those one of them feminists.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
which works kind of well for us here.
Yeah, and I mean she's been directing for a while, but she hasn't directed a lot, and she's got another thing coming up. She directed a short in 2025. It doesn't seem like she has anything coming up, but I don't know. Hopefully this gives her, because she wrote this as well, which is like she's probably got a lot of weird ideas going on, that French melon of hers.
She was like the first woman to be nominated as a director-writer combo, and only like the fifth woman to be nominated for Best Director period in the Academy Awards. But what I thought was funny is that it won for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which I don't actually think, like I was looking at the rest of them and being like, I don't think that's the one it should have won. But it's funny to me because it's the girl award.
Right.
Like does the makeup
like costume, makeup, and hair is the one that like the woman movie always gets that.
Does the makeup include like the prosthetics and like the? Right. So that's all of that was pretty crazy. It's pretty good. Also, crazily enough, Margaret Qualley's. I heard about this when the movie came out. When she's naked, that's all like tuned
Body
up
doubles.
with. No, it was prosthetics. It was rubber, and you can tell if you look close enough. You get right up in front of the TV.
Jason definitely watched close enough and rewound it and watched it again. I mean, you're like,
this is a movie where you lick the screen, right?
Yeah.
You're heterosexual.
When the egg is on.
Yeah.
That's when
I
you
have a
lick
fun
the screen.
fact from Wikipedia here. They used over 21,000 liters of fake blood.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
I did read that one.
That's a lot. I mean, that last episode, that last sequence is like wild.
That's all their blood money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's a very different from all of the other Feminist Masterpiece movies that we've done. It's usually a female director who has come in from being an actress or like an actor, or it's been a guy or like a combination of writing and whatnot. So I think this is our first one that's directed, written by, and that's also not a legacy blonde woman from Hollywood. And our first French filmmaker. So I thought that was all very neat. Her
and
like,
I think
story.
maybe in a way like the horniest feminist masterpiece movie we've done, because like a lot of the movies are very sort of like
Perhaps
I think so. Yeah, maybe the horniest movie ever made in the history of cinema. Yeah.
That first
Definitely
exercise
possible.
scene was much longer than I remembered it to be. I was watching it in the hospital break room, and I was like, this is not the place for this.
You just got to stand up and do calisthenics and be like, I'm exercising.
I'm doing an 80s exercise video.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, is there anything that indicates that this movie takes place past like 1992?
Yeah,
I
there's
couldn't
cell
figure out.
phones.
It's kind
In
of.
fact, they're using cell phones the entire
Do
time.
they
I was
have
trying-
cell phones?
Yes.
They do.
She
There
gets
is-
text messages from her friend, and they're like, "Are you okay?"
I didn't clock which cell phone though, because it was
Okay.
only at the end of the movie that I also had that thought of like, what?
It's one of
era
these.
Because the cars in the
was
they're on
regular-
landlines a lot.
Guys,
There's cars. The cars in the
They're
background
using-
are.
he sends text messages on the screen, and you can see them, and it's a flat buttonless phone. It's going up, so like it's a modern. It's supposed to be now. I think it's like or like within the last 15 years or whatever.
What I
Okay.
was saying is that I'm too stupid to see what the phone is.
It's
I think we're-
it's a phone with
The
a screen
phone?
with a whole
Yeah,
screen. is a thing.
regardless.
Yeah, it's part of the
Okay.
plot. I mean, like they could probably have removed the phone, and it would be sort of like a timeless thing where it could take place at any point. But it I guess that's how you sort of nestle yourself into reality. But everything else in this movie is so far beyond reality that like it doesn't need to do that. It could take place on another planet for all I know, because everything is so strange in this movie.
Was this shot during COVID?
I mean, it must
Possibly.
have
Because
been.
there's so few people in
Yeah.
all of those scenes. And I know that some of it is definitely intentional, but like, did this movie just
If it was released in
Also-
2024, then it probably would have still been a lot of regulations going on, or restrictions, happening.
It
Because
probably
Because
shot in
that's the
2022 or
case.
2023. She worked on it for 5. She wrote the screenplay for 5 years, also. So
maybe she wrote it during COVID in a secret room she built in her bathroom.
that is totally
Right.
possible. But I mean, like, if that's part of why there's so much like sparseness in this, I think it works. But I imagine that it's also part of how she wrote it. Like,
yeah,
maybe even some of those cool things like the banging of the coconuts because you can't afford horses. Like, this is a pretty small budget, and I think like I would be very interested to know what things were compromised for the
Yeah.
budget.
Even just like the fact that there's only really 3 actors in this movie that you've ever seen before in anything. You know, like a lot of the other actors are either like day player people or voice actors, and like they don't seem like on-screen presences. And it seems like it was a lot of them were cast for like a very weird look, like a strange look. And there's a lot of ADR going on, which adds to that level of disconnect and sort of like warped reality that everybody's existing inside of. You know, even like the young boy who's actually the old man that we find out later, like his voice is clearly dubbed, and he has like sort of an older sounding voice, I suppose. Yeah, and everything's kind of like looks uncanny and strange, and the cameras the camera angles that they use, as well as the lenses that they use, like all of it is just like so strange. Like when Dennis Quaid is eating and his eyes are like going in the wrong direction because they use that sort of fisheye lens to like, but like in a way that you don't typically use a fisheye lens, which is right up to someone's face. So like it's making his eyes look like they're going in different directions. Like he's just like a creepy monster man. God,
his character reminded me of like an anime bad guy in a lot of ways.
His
including
costumes.
His costumes. So there's a character in Final Fantasy VII who like runs the brothel. He's very disgusting. It kind of evoked that. It reminded me of anime for his character.
He was serving Denethor for me,
Right.
eating the chicken and whatnot.
The shrimp.
We've all seen the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason that I'm curious about that is because I want to know if like some of it was just leaning into that because it worked for the aesthetic. I want to have a conversation with this lady. There was also some like rights stuff where she wanted final cut, and that's how the movie went from Universal to movie, I think.
Movie.
Which is kind of
yeah.
a badass move for her to be like, nah, dog. Like,
It's not an A24
Keep
movie,
this.
right?
No.
But it feels it has that same energy. But Mubi, a lot of those films are like kind of in the same same realm of like bizarre indie flicks.
Fuck A24. Let's move.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to advance AI now, as it turns out, which sucks.
Really?
Yeah, they invested a bunch of money
I
into
don't think we
AI.
have time for
No, we're not talking about it.
We talked about AI for like a half hour.
I told you years ago. You're always talking about A24. I'm like, they're like every other studio, man. There's nothing different than them and anybody else. And then now they're fucking doing the exact same thing. I knew it was gonna happen. Fucking knew it.
As soon as they made The Whale, I was like, okay. So that's production talk.
That's production. I just, as far as cinematography goes, they really nail a unique feel to this. There's a lot of weird, and you mentioned the ADR as well, to give it a sort of surreal feeling a lot of the time. And I think they nail the like disgusting male gaze element of it all that they're satirizing, especially with Oliver and Harvey, a little bit on the nose with the naming convention.
They're all cartoon characters. Every single character. Even the two main characters are all cartoon characters. It's so beyond reality that you're basically watching like a comic book. But I mean, that's part of the reason that I think it's good, because it's like you're dealing with something that's so wild that if you tried to ground it in reality, it just wouldn't work as well, or it would be too disgusting for you to be able to have the ridiculous ending that it has and have it work still. You know,
it would be a different movie. One of the things that actually Stephen and I were chatting about back and forth was the color. Like I was like, the color use is really excellent. Like it's really dramatic, and the way that she uses color and the brightness of it, I think, is very different from how other horror movies like that. I like movies in general right now are just so dark that I found it, even though it was gross and I hated the experience of watching it, I still was like, damn, those colors are really good. The use of negative space is incredible. Like there's clearly like a vision that she has to create moods with colors. And it worked for me.
No, absolutely. I like that a lot of the movie takes place in like a stark white bathroom, and then every time something happens, there's a pop of color, and it's usually gross. There's not usually a nice pop of color in that room. It's either like somebody barfing out a bunch of vibrant green liquid or just bleeding nasty yellowish red blood everywhere.
Or even like how she goes from like she has to go into like the rundown part of town, and then down in, like she has to duck down to get in under the door, and then she goes into this like sterile white and black room. There's a lot
of frames where it's just black here, and then you're framing the vision, and that reminds me of comic books, kind of the way that light and those directions.
I was thinking like when she first goes and it's like opens only a little bit. I mean, this is probably what we should talk about when we talk about the movie and not during production talk. But I agree. I have a theory.
I think I know what you're going to say, because I have a theory too.
Oh, I was just talking about the production.
No, I know. I was about to say something about the door that I wanted to, but I feel like we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay, let's.
It's time to talk about the movie at large.
All right. I did want to mention the hallway that has all our paintings in it. I'm like, oh, it's like The Shining. Like it's basically the same color scheme as The Shining. They've just changed the design slightly to avoid copyright, I assume. But like, I'm certain it's meant to be an homage in some capacity of like losing your fucking mind. Anyway, let's go into production. I mean, the body of the episode.
Everybody back up, because here comes the body of the episode.
That sting
the episode
has a bit of a different connotation for this movie.
How many bodies of the episode?
About two. Me and Steven are the two split apart. He came out of me. He's the younger version of me. The younger, better, hotter version of me.
Okay.
Your thoughts? Anyway.
I feel like that's an insult to me.
Why?
Because you're saying I don't have any agency, that I have no
I
existence
think it's an
without
insult
you.
to me Because if you two are the first split, then I'm the monster.
You're the monster. At the end,
You're the
combo.
monster with all our
So-
faces and teeth and one tit all over you.
Yeah.
You
Sue or whatever. It was.
know how you give birth to a breast sometimes?
I can't.
Let's all give birth to a breast. Let's all give birth to a breast.
Amazing.
Come on, baby, you're the best. Let me see that baby breast. All right, let's move on. I didn't like the way that sounded.
I'm gonna clip that, put that on the internet forever for everyone to see. The movie opens with an egg being given the substance and splitting, and then we go over to the Elisabeth Sparkle Walk of Fame star, and we sort of see, I guess it's supposed to be the 80s or the 90s then, and we sort of see over the years people forgetting more and more about her, a fading star, if you will.
This is when I was like, oh, this movie does have its head up its own ass. But it's cool. I like it. But I'm like, it's probably going to show the star at the end of the movie too, right? And I was right. But I mean, that's just like a good bookend. I like the egg though. The egg is cool because immediately I'm like, woman, that's about a woman. Women have eggs. This is an egg. Women are eggs. But then, yeah, it shows them inject an egg with a strange goo, the substance maybe. And you don't know what's going to happen, but what happens is the yolk produces another yolk, but the yolk that comes out is more vibrant, more colorful, and just slightly better than the other one.
Slightly more round and perfect. Is the substance, like, do you think there was inspiration from Reanimator for this movie?
Yes.
I watched Reanimator recently, and I'm like, it's a similar kind of vibe.
This movie is taking from so many things. Like,
yeah,
this is why when you were like 5 out of 5, I was like, have you seen, like, you need, and I was like, I was going to give you a list of things to watch. And I'm like, you can hold on to that. But I think the more that you expand your body horror library that you've watched, you'll realize that, like, this is a good movie, but it's not nearly near the top of like movies that deal with this kind of stuff. Like it's just different, and it different enough, but it does a lot of stuff that's already been done, which is why I think I was able to kind of pinpoint what was going to happen so easily. But at the same time, how much can you really do with the concept? But you want to do the things that you're going to do well, and maybe have a little bit of different elements, which I'm like, they did do pretty well. Like when they both weirdly have superpowers at the end. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? How are they so strong?
How'd you kick her fucking across the room through a table? But yeah, we'll get to that.
The most like original different thing from other horrors is the type of plot and who's behind the camera.
Yeah, even this exact like thing, the concept of a drug that makes you into a better version of yourself is not a new thing as well, right? Like this is like sort of tropey at this point, but it's like taking an old formula and tweaking it slightly to be like, how can we add a different layer to this or a different perspective to this? And I think it does that pretty well. But yeah, as you're saying, Jason, it starts with the star, Elisabeth Sparkle. It shows it being inlaid into the ground, how they're done, which I never really considered, like, is that how they do it? I don't know. Or maybe they fancified it for the movie. I still don't know. I didn't look it up. But yeah,
you'll see. I don't think that they do that, but you see when they, oh no, they just pull the star off when they give it to the person and they put their hands into a thing. But I don't think the hands stay there.
No, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, the star is its own thing, and the hands are a different thing. But yeah, you don't. I don't know. They don't show them making it. It's always a reveal, right? Like it's your Hollywood Walk of Fame or whatever the fuck it's called.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, and it is a cool thing to the shot holding on the star, and you see all these people excited and taking pictures with it, and slowly it goes from like, hey, you remember her? And it's like, wasn't she in that fucking piece of shit movie or whatever? And then like it slowly goes from that to people just completely ignoring it.
It cracks, and at one point somebody drops fries on it in the exact way that she oozes into it at the end.
So like Demi Moore's actual star.
Yeah. Oh my god. This was her big comeback.
There's a lot of interesting stuff there with Demi Moore's career and this, and then what's happened to Demi Moore after this. It's bizarre. And it's so funny that last year we talked about G.I. Jane. And
Oh yeah, I forgot about
and that was kind of like her drop.
Wasn't that like a 5-hour episode? Crazy.
It was
I think
definitely
it was
very
about
long.
4 days.
Yeah. That was crazy. That was like a
I'm
full
hoping that
work
we-
day.
14
hoping that
human
we don't-
years.
I'm hoping that we don't talk about this movie for that long tonight, because I also don't want to relive it again.
No.
I was thinking about that element of it. Like, we have to relive this whole movie again. But yeah, it gets all
I'll
the
park
credit
the
and
Demi
everything.
Moore stuff for later once we get to the near the end.
Then we go over to her finishing her workout class. It's just called the morning show. In this universe, there's a morning workout program that's like the most famous thing that everybody watches for some reason, because I think this is a universe where like it's even harder patriarchy and it's even more like male gaze oriented.
It's a cartoonized version of reality, but it's not
Yeah.
it's not inaccurate to what reality is, right? Like
Right.
this is exactly what happens. It's just they're making it more streamlined and stylized because it's a movie.
The lady going from being an actress to being to doing aerobics is like
Jane Fonda.
that's textbook. Like Cindy
Yeah.
Crawford had one at one point. Like it's a trope. Like
Yeah.
that is a thing
I
that
think-
happened and then turned into a trope.
Yeah, Jane Fonda is the one that you think of, but like you forget that like so many of them.
Lori
did
Loughlin.
it.
No, not Lori Loughlin. Suzanne Summers.
Yep.
We don't need to name all of them.
The ab flexor.
Flexor. And it's also like we should mention that in her workout class, it's also a bunch of women who look like they're in their late 40s or early 50s as well, right? Like it's meant to be. It's the morning show because it's for women who are either like staying at home or retired. It's like, elderly women who are still trying to keep up with what the world
Yes.
has demanded of them since
Those
they're
40-year-old elderly women.
no, what I mean is like people in their 60s and 70s. You understood what I mean. Don't do this to me, please. For the love of God, I can't handle it. But yeah, they're basically just like older women that are with her, and then the people watching are people who are like retirees who are still trying to exercise to get their pool bodies or whatever. But it's again, even this is cartoonish, right? Like the set looks like it's straight out of the 80s, even though this movie is meant to be modern, which we tell that later when the Substance version of her takes over and they immediately turn it to like a music video from like 2 years ago or whatever, right?
It turns into a Carl's Jr. Burger ad, is what it kind of turns into. Remember those
That's so
mid
funny.
2000s? Just close ups on body parts.
I thought it became more 80s as soon as we got to the younger self because of the
Sure,
colors
yeah.
and the styling, and it was like we were being brought back to when Demi would have been younger.
Right.
It's like the
Even
Call
though
on
we're
Me
in
What I
the
mean-
music video.
present.
What I mean to say is like it is a sexier, more modern version of the same thing, right? Like it does look 80, like the workout gear leotard looks 80s, the set looks 80s, the color scheme looks 80s, but it's modernized, right? Like everything is meant to be more youthful and appear as though it's being created and made by and for younger people, which is why they want to move her time slot and all that kind of stuff as well, right? Because it's like the old people don't like looking at you, you're too hot. We need to get you in front of the young people. But yeah, she goes to the bathroom after her set, and the ladies' room is out of order or something, so she has to go into the men's room, and then we get our first look at Dennis Quaid, and this is a crazy where it's just a static angle of her going into a stall, and then him bursting in while on a cell phone, yelling into his phone about, we got to get hot, sweet ass in here. We're tired of these old boobies. And he's just saying the most like vulgar, vile shit. He doesn't say anyone's name, but you can tell.
Oh yeah, it is a
exactly
cell
what he's
phone.
talking about. What do you think he had? He was just yelling.
Thought he had for some
His
reason.
assistant was there.
No, he had a like a block phone, a brick phone from the 80s. That's how I imagine it. But no, it's just a.
You guys still don't believe me that cell phones are in this movie?
No,
I told you.
I do now.
I did not believe you from the beginning. I was just a fool for not.
I
paying
forgot, and then
attention.
there's a scene where you can see the cars in the background, and they're all like 80s muscle cars, and I was like, theory. But
Well,
then-
there's also a good shot where when she goes to the alley for the first time, and there's a bunch of cars in that alley, and they're rusted out, beaten down cars that would have been like beautiful new cars in the 80s, right? Like they're 80s
Okay.
vehicles that are all rusted out and nasty. I was
We
like,
might
oh,
be talking
that's a
about the
cool
same
touch.
car.
She's like the car.
Yeah,
a
she's
car.
rusted
Well,
out and nasty.
Yeah,
Also, when she's
exactly.
walking down the hallway, they're all wishing her a happy birthday, and it's making her increasingly sadder, is what it looks like. She's like, oh, this is her 50th birthday at the beginning of this movie.
Yes.
And then I noticed that at one point too, there's a mention of a giant jellyfish, which is a bit of a foreshadow because she kind of turns into a bit of a giant jellyfish.
True, I didn't catch that, but yeah, she does say like, "What do you want to look like, a giant jellyfish on the beach?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Sparkle Your Life is what her show is called, by the way. Sparkle
name for her
Your
show.
Life. Yeah, with Elisabeth.
With Elisabeth.
And yeah, she's going down the hallway, and you can see sort of like the progression of time from, you know, when she first started these workout programs to now. And you know, they do a good job of like making it seem old to new, but like she's aging as it goes, which is an interesting contrast, right? Like you see her young with the older looking text, and it's cool. It's a cool visual effect that I like.
It's also interesting how they take them all down and they start putting Sue ends up with 2 posters, but that whole hallway still has she walks by so many posters and you only see one side. And I think you do get a couple shots of all of them, but that's the sequel. All those posters end up in there. No sequel here.
What are you saying? I don't understand what you
I'm saying the sequel would have her if she didn't explode into a zombie blood creature.
Placenta?
Yeah.
The sequel is that she got her job back as that goo monster making workout videos.
It's just a comedy.
You don't want to spread boobs and blood all over beach.
The gross monster is played a bit like a comedy at moments too, which was interesting.
It absolutely is. 100%.
It's like
It's not. It is meant to. It's meant to be funny. It's not meant to be like horrifying. Like remember the snap zoom of the woman like monster. Like that's
shoot it.
Yeah, it's all funny. Like it's meant to be funny.
Bathrooms figure really quite a bit in this. Different colored bathrooms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say that
funny.
Probably over 50% of this movie is in a bathroom. Like it's mostly bathrooms.
We got plot bathroom.
Yeah, there's the plot bathroom. There's the main bathroom. Then
the mausoleum bathroom.
The toothy bathroom when all her teeth fell out, which seems to be a mixture of all the bathrooms. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Oh, interesting.
And then she goes home and gets turned into a mixture of both of them. Ha!
Now that's some toilet humor.
Heyo. Also, they always say they never go into bathrooms in TV shows and movies. Well, really turn that one on its ear in this one.
Who said
Remember
that?
when in Tomb Raider she's showering for like 20 minutes?
Tomb Raider? No.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. There's
like
shower
the
scene.
and
Yeah.
she's
I think I saw Tomb Raider once in theaters.
I think that's Tomb Raider 2 that I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't think I.
But then, yeah, she comes out of the shower and then like has to fight somebody in her mansion, right? Wearing barely anything.
Oh yeah,
because...
Demi Moore does that in this movie.
Yeah.
That was like a solid like early memory. Like I'll never forget about Angelina Jolie showering in my youth.
Yeah.
For me,
this movie now.
For me, it was Tarzan. Or not Tarzan. George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser. I'm like, do I want to touch his oily chest?
Uh-oh. I'm gonna need therapy.
Yeah.
Or not. So yeah, I just wanted Dennis Quaid's bit is pretty gross. He's talking about, like you said, finding the new girl. He makes some gross, he talks about fertility in women, and as he walks out.
He also never says her name ever.
Right.
In this movie. And in this scene, he goes, "How old is Jennifer?" He doesn't even say Elisabeth. So I'm like, does he think her name is Jennifer? Like, does he not know what his own client's name is? And then there's that point where he changes his like assistant's name to Cindy or something.
Yeah, her name is it's a very nice name. And then he's like, "You'll be Cindy."
It was like Aurora or something. It was something like that. It was like a name that's like not as common as something like Cindy, which anyway. He's a dick, and then what happens?
Elisabeth pops up on the screen and we get the beginning of her like what her life is like. She goes and gets fired at the restaurant where he's eating shrimp.
So I do want to talk about this scene because it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in all cinema.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
This is the first part of the movie.
Sorry, it's very Mr. Creosote to me.
Is that what
The meaning of life?
Yeah, when he's eating, he
But sir, it
pops.
just wafer thin. Yeah, and then he explodes.
Yeah, and then he pops. I saw that too young, and I thought my brain made it up. I thought it was like a nightmare that my brain created. And then I saw it again when I was a teenager, and I was like, I used to have nightmares about this. I thought it was fake because I think when I was a kid, when I would see something too scary, I would like block out everything around it, and just the core memory would be there of like the actual thing that frightened me.
What are you talking about?
The meaning of life. There's a scene where
Monty Python.
Python.
Bring me my bucket.
Yeah, where the guy is like eating and eating and eating, then he explodes.
My dad, we were at a bookstore. I have a story about that too. We were at a bookstore. My dad was looking at the book, the Meaning of Life book, and he just held up the scene of him exploded, and that fucked me up pretty good too. Bring me my bucket.
Sometimes our parents make poor decisions when coming to what they should show us as children. They're like, you can't watch James Bond, too scary, but we can show you this man eating himself to an explosion. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or
Won't freak
like
you out.
Jabba
Gluttony
the
is
Hutt
hilarious.
from Spaceballs. He eats himself. Well, sometimes your Jason makes a terrible decision and makes your Noel watch a movie about a guy eating a bunch of nasty shrimps.
Yeah.
Now that he's a parent, already letting people down.
This is when I messaged Jason and I was like, this movie is fucking disgusting. And then Jason was like, yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I'm like, gotta be true to you right now. I've only watched Dennis Quaid eat shrimp. I haven't seen anything else gross in this movie yet except this, but it's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. So I was so worried for the rest of the movie that I wasn't going to be able to handle a lot of because I thought it was going to be more of that kind of stuff. But like when you see Dennis Quaid, fisheye lens, close up on his mouth, chewing raw or cooked shrimp with his fucking shrimp juice up to his knuckles with like shrimp sauce
everywhere,
and it's all over the table, and he's just wiping his hands all over the place.
Yeah, he like doesn't. He just
gross.
like goes like that and then shakes the guy's hand and leaves. Like,
I actually had to look away during
I was doing
scene.
this.
It was like
I can.
The arthritis scene was the only time that I had to be like, where she's trying to bend her knee. That got me.
That got me because I have extreme knee pain all the time. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that grosses me out so much. Like people overeating, or like chewing with their mouth open. If you chew with your mouth open in real life in front of me, it actually starts a flame inside of me of like, I want to stab you with all of the utensils right now.
I have someone you should meet.
I mean, I've yelled at Jason before for having a frog in his throat and not clearing it. You know, like this is the kind of stuff, like gooey things inside of your mouth and head are things that like really upset me at a very core level of and I don't know why. I think I've been told it's an ADHD autism thing where it's like, yeah, you just don't like it because you know what it feels like, and you're like, you can easily fix that. You can go and it'll go away. Do it.
That's why I don't snot rocket around you.
Even just
I knew your exact reaction was gonna be like, okay. Well, there's a fly in the
my
line.
last episode of Hey, Did You Say This One? I don't think I can do the show anymore.
I'm trying not to talk as much, by the way. So, is it working? Is the show going by faster?
No, it's not. It goes by fast. It's just suddenly it's been 4 hours, and we're like, well, we still have 3 pages of material to get through.
Carry on.
Yeah, there's a fly in the wine bit that was sort of a bit of a. I feel like it was a bit of a metaphor for the situation and a little bit of a foreshadow for how things kind of go.
I assumed it was meant to be like the fly in the ointment, right? Like the thing that sustained you for so long is the thing that kills you, which is basically what's going on here, where it's like your beauty and glamour is what has been sustaining you forever now, and now you're dead in the water.
I thought it was just reminiscent of like calling back to the movie The Fly.
You know what, guys? I think we're all right. I think all of these things are correct.
I think all of these things can be true. And also, I haven't seen The Fly yet. I'm saving The Fly for a rainy day, but I think this might have a lot of similarities to The Fly.
The Fly is very gross. It is a very good body horror. You haven't seen it? Yeah. So now this is a movie that you'd be like, okay, I'm going to take the substance is now going to be down here, and The Fly is a little bit up here.
I can't with The Fly.
I can't with the fly over here. I mean, I think that in terms of like performances and just like creativity, like I mean, Cronenberg is a fucking madman.
No,
anyway,
I think
right?
The Fly is why I don't like body horror.
Probably. There's even body horror that you don't expect to be happening in that movie. You're like, yeah, he's going to turn into a fly. And then there's times where he just like does things where you're like, what the fuck is happening now? Yeah.
I can't wait. But it is a movie I'm saving because I know it's one of those movies that like is seminal for being a film person. And, you know, I'm going to get to it. But she's sort of fired in this situation. On the way home that she's driving, she sees her billboard get taken down, and then she gets T-boned while she's sort of distracted by that. And then this credits roll, and that's the end of the movie. So, because she dies. So this has been this week's episode.
Okay. When are you going to stop doing that joke? I don't like
Never.
Every week. Okay.
It's
she could have died, and then the rest of it is just...
That, you know, that's a fun theory that she died there, and then all of the everything that happens after that is, you know,
if you want,
it is kind of the turning
paradise. Simply come along, and you will.
At the very end, it zooms out, and it's an autistic kid with a snow globe, and it all happened inside the snow globe.
Why does the kid have to be autistic?
I don't know. People have been saying that for years and years and years about that he happened to be autistic.
You mean you and your friends? You fucking
no, it's
ableists?
an internet thing, and I'm not being ableist. Anyway. I don't think that's the word they used in the 90s. So in the 80s,
they've been saying another word. I get it.
Yeah.
So you use an insult.
They say it now a lot, but
yeah, they're bringing it back because they're idiots. Anyway, let's move on.
The moral of the story is: don't get into a car crash, and if you do, don't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because at the hospital, you're gonna get sold black market drugs.
Well, I think the real moral is don't look at billboards ever.
Yeah. Do you reminds me of the BoJack Horseman episode where it's Secretariat, you are Secretariat, and it's just like the mirror, and it causes like huge crashes everywhere because it's just light reflecting on the mirror instead of you being looking at yourself.
I think I made it that far in that show to see that. I lost where I was and never went back, but I think I need to do a
the
BoJack.
movie. BoJack is kind of like The Substance.
I was just gonna say this is a bit of a BoJack situation, very tragic. But yeah, at the doctor, she's fine. They're like, somehow you survived, no issues. And then the doctor's wife, he said the doctor's wife is a huge fan, you know, of Elisabeth Sparkle. And the nurse is like, has that weird ADR voice that you mentioned earlier where he's like, you know, if you're sick and tired of being old.
Well, what actually happens is that he creepily examines her spine and
says, ooh,
and he goes, excellent. And then he hands her, and she's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, nothing. You'd be an excellent candidate. I mean, nothing. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? This is when obviously this is like Dennis Quaid is the first, but you're like, you know, this movie's stylized. Maybe this is just like, this character is going to be a weirdo. You know, when you watch like what's his name? The guy who directed like that movie with, anyway, you know, the like Okja, like that director. Like, you know, Bong Joon-ho, yeah, he makes his villains are very cartoonish, right? But then the movies are usually populated with a lot of characters that aren't so cartoonish. This movie, every single person is a cartoon character. The doctor is like, you know, I got great news for you. You know, you're gonna be just fine. Nothing, not even a scratch on you. And then you have this like waxy looking boy nurse next to him with like piercing blue eyes, and you're like, this is like drawn. Everything looks like it was a sketch that came to life. And then you know, he has a big crazy sort of birthmark on his wrist that is like the most, you know, if you were at a murder scene, you would recognize that and be like, he had a big crazy birthmark on his wrist. You know, it's the most distinguishable feature you've ever seen, which comes into play later. And then immediately as a movie watcher, you're like, oh, he's on the substance, and you're going to figure out later that there's actually an old version of him. I can't wait to see the old version of him, which happens obviously. But creepy. It's very creepy. The lighting in here and the color in here is like every horror movie you've ever seen, which that lighting and color scheme kind of goes away after this for the rest of the movie, except for when she's making that food. It comes back for a bit.
Well, it's her Her yellow coat is a cool
Her Dick Tracy
through
coat.
line
Yeah.
from
Yes.
to the like
Yeah.
versus the red coat versus the but yes, I
Absolutely.
get what you mean about that particular color scheme.
But even in this, like just in this examination room, everything's gray and underlit as you would expect from like a regular horror movie, except for this waxy boy's like beautiful tan and like crazy blue eyes and perfect hair. And you're like, okay, this guy's he's on some sort of substance. I don't know what it is, but it's in him. And then he gives her like a little package or whatever, right? And then it has a USB stick on it with like information on a little. It's like you gonna give it a try, or so. I can't remember what the note says, but
isn't it the note that says you can be better?
You can be better. Yeah, I think something
or
like
something
that.
like that, because you see it later.
Rebuild you. We can make you stronger.
Harder, better, faster, stronger. But yeah,
it says harder, better, stronger, faster, and then it goes beep bop beep bop beep beep bop beep doop doop bop beep beep. It says,
I was going for the $6 million man.
What the note says is it changed my life. That's what it says. Yeah.
Also, for the first time, when she calls the number,
that's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
This is, of course, one of those movies where they say the substance 100 times, but they do say it for the first time at 12 minutes and 14 seconds when the thing that the USB drive says the substance, I think, and then the person on the phone says the substance. During all of this, she also finds her 10th grade homeroom friend, Fred. And he asks her out, and she's like, okay, buddy. But she is sort of also having that sort of thought that, like, maybe I could see myself being a little bit less, full of myself.
Of people's looks.
Yeah.
Because they chose a very regular looking man. We know that she's just turned 50, meaning that he's also 50. And he looks like what you would expect a 50-year-old man to look like, right? And he's very nice and kind, and like he's like starstruck, but he's like, remember we were friends when we were kids. Like,
I liked him. He's the only person I liked in this whole movie.
Yeah.
I feel bad that he got stood up, because I feel like that could have been a turning point for her character, but she just regressed and kind of started going crazy.
Listen,
if you wake up love could have saved her.
If you wake up with a monster finger, I don't know how your day's gonna go at that point. But yeah, this is where like it's now the movie's doubling down, where I'm like, okay, Dennis Quaid is weird. The doctor was slightly strange, but sort of normal. The nurse was creepy as hell, but he's supposed to be. And then this guy is like giving the most like daytime radio voice actory performance, where like everything he's saying is just kind of slightly off. And like when he gives her the number, and he's like, now you have it. And then he walks away, and you're like, what the fuck? He said that like it's a slogan for a chocolate
now
bar.
You've got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's so strange. You're like, I don't understand what's happening.
We get one of the first hints that this movie's just gonna have gross like moments in it, where she drops it in a puddle, and when she leans down to pick it up, it's all like brown and gross. And the puddle's like really gross and brown, and I was like, this is a good.
There's like cigarette butts like floating all around it too. Like,
yeah,
like, you're not gonna rip off another piece of paper.
The egg was when I noticed that it was going to be a really gross movie.
Sure.
The first part of the movie, I liked that fella's performance. It was a nice stark contrast to everyone else, but it also felt like what I would do if I ran into somebody who was still very good looking, and I went, like, if I was in that scenario and I was that guy, I'd be like, like,
yeah, you want to go on a date with me? Yeah.
Blow it. I would blow it.
And yeah, he's actually doing better than I think I would if I was in that position, because he like has a level of confidence that like you don't see very often, but it's like maybe that's a thing that comes with a certain level of age, where you're just like, I don't care, and she's probably gonna say no, but I might as well just ask. Like,
he's also a guy, and I think there's probably there's more confidence in being an older man than being an older woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Oliver crumbles immediately.
What's the guy in Promising?
He thinks that he still looks 30. Woman? That guy.
Yeah.
Promising Young
Woman.
Who was the boyfriend?
Bo Burnham.
Yes, it gave me Bo Burnham vibes from
gave
what
me Alex
they run
Horne
into each
vibes.
other.
Oh, like from that actual plot of that movie. Yeah, I thought you meant
Correct.
physically.
No.
Well, I was gonna just say that like the thing that I like about this guy is that like they chose. I think they did this deliberately for a lot of the side characters. They chose a guy who, you know, his teeth are not perfect, his hair is like not perfect, like everything about him is imperfect, and like he clearly has just been living his life, not necessarily taking poor care of himself. It's just like this is what age looks like, and like you have to be okay with it. And I liked it.
The salt and pepper hair.
Salt and pepper hair, and like a lot of it, you know, was kind of like all the way at the like he didn't have a lot of hair left, but he's still, you know, he's still working with what he's got, and you know he was smiley and happy, and you're like, okay, this guy seems all right.
A very normal man.
But clearly she had to go solve mysteries because she's wearing her Dick Tracy coat. So anyway, she goes home, she opens her big book of mysteries, but she
looks out over the town, sort of in like a longing. I used to own this town. See, we see all
Everything
of her like
the
awards
light
and
touches.
stuff. Yeah. But yeah, then she calls the number. She watches the video on the USB drive, and it's I think that was the first trailer for this movie, just this video of the substance, like, you could be better and faster and stronger.
Gather round, freaks.
This is it.
Yeah.
You cannot do
Have
that.
you ever dreamt of a better podcast?
I think I did an okay job of that, considering I did spend 10 minutes on it.
I liked it a lot, actually.
It's great, but jump scaring me in the middle of this when I spent the whole day throwing up. Thanks. But legit, I was throwing up most of the day.
Oh, I didn't know that, or else I wouldn't have jump scared you just now.
I feel
Sorry about your
I feel a little better, but still quite unwell.
It's because of this movie, isn't it?
I think it's the heat.
Yeah,
It's probably the heat.
probably the heat. It's very shitty.
I went
It's too
outside for
hot.
maybe
Cold day.
15 minutes today, and I was like, I'm going back, because I try to like take daily walks around, just to get that blood pumping, and you know,
You gotta pump it.
you got to pump it up sometimes. But I was like, not today, not happening.
Well, if I wasn't such a chub, I'd probably do better in the heat. But here I am, lunchbox.
Yeah, after I went for a walk, I came home and just started guzzling water, because I also have been doing a walking regimen. Anyway, I was sweating like a goddamn horse in church. Back at home, she looks. Oh, I already covered that. So basically, what happens is, for 7 days, you get to be your other self, and I'm wondering how many people have abused the substance in the way that she does. It seems like my kind of theory, we'll get to it towards the end, but she somehow mixes a perfect mixture of just doing everything wrong in the right way to become the Akira style monster at the end. But she says, screw this, throws it in the garbage, and then goes for drinks. And she's got these martinis lined up. She gets super wasted. She sees some young people. She goes home all wasted and throws up. And when she's looking at her awards and into a snow globe and remembers the old days, she throws it and smashes it at like a giant portrait of herself that she has in her living room, which really shows her vanity. And then she digs out the substance video and calls.
I don't know if it shows. I mean, obviously she's vain, but like it's more just sort of like mournful of like her past self, right? Like I don't know if I would like, because it seems like she's aware of it, at least, you know. Like I think people with like extreme vanity a lot of the time are unaware of like the fact that they're vain. You know, it's like they know they don't look as good as they did, but there's a level of vanity. Maybe I'm wrong, but like it just feels like she's very sad that she isn't how she used to be. And this is something that like when she's in the bar by herself and she has all the martinis, it's her birthday. She's by herself on her birthday.
Yeah.
She dressed up. She went to a bar.
Birthday.
She went to a bar by herself in a very nice dress, like a backless gown, and she probably went to a bar that she used to go to all the time, and people would probably talk to her, and she would maybe like, you know, find people to go home with or whatever, or even just talk to. And she's alone, and there's no one in there except for like a hot young couple who are smooching in the corner or whatever. And she's like, well, time to go home and barf away my sorrows. And I felt really sad because, like, you know, I think everybody, I mean, I know what it's like to go to a bar that is a regular bar that you go to, and then one day you go and there's absolutely no one in there that you recognize or know, and you're like, well, I gotta go. I can't sit around here and wait for someone.
So some years
one day
ago,
you just never go there again.
Every time we went back to Halifax, me and my wife, we would go to the bar where we met, right? And the first few times we went back to Halifax, we'd go there and it's all the same bartenders, all the same clientele. And then slowly over the course of 10 years, it was like, oh, I know like one bartender and one regular. And now when we go, it's a completely different tapestry. And if we try to be like, we used to work here, we met here together, we met here and fell in love here and everything, they're like, I don't care. Nobody cares. And that's sort of what she's going through in this moment, except at a larger scale, because she was like
you're also with your wife who you love. It's very different if you're alone in a backless gown with
that's right. I came out on top.
Yeah, you're not Demi Moore in this scenario.
Yeah. But it is a unique experience that I'm sure we've all, you know, going back to an old haunt and not knowing, it seems all weird and different. You feel old.
That's why I don't leave my house.
I don't leave this room. Sometimes I go in the living room and I'm like, it's like everything's changed in here.
I don't recognize these pictures.
Yeah, slowly over the course of 10 years, everything changes.
Side flash to you drunkenly changing the pictures.
I'm like, you got to pump it up. Come on, pump it up.
Grover Steve's never gonna know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I go out there, I'm like, God damn it, why is there chicken everywhere? Again. I don't
think I can eat chicken again ever after this. That was the part that was the grossest, but we'll get to it.
I wanted to ask you guys is this a reference to Ozempic, or is this like alcoholism, or is this just getting older and wanting to be younger, or is it kind of a combination of everything that older people are gonna go through?
It precedes Ozempic a little bit.
A little bit, right?
I will talk about that. Plastic surgery, I think.
That's mine.
Okay.
That's what I think it is too.
Yeah.
I mean, not just that, obviously, but like I think it's a pretty major component of what this is meant to represent, which is like you can be a younger version of yourself, but then, you know, slowly by the end you transform into an unrecognizable inhuman monster.
Yeah, and plastic surgery is one thing, but then I also got a lot of All About Eve kind of vibes with this. And I think the substance is just a horror conduit of having the younger person take over and push the older person down the stairs. And, you know, that genre of movie, your Black Swans, your whatever, only with a different medium or the inciting incident. But really,
if you haven't seen All About Eve,
story.
Jason, you should check it out. It's like an old like it's like a Betty Davis movie from the 50s. I think
it's
also based on a book, probably.
I think.
What about like a Fight Club?
I mean, a little bit, but it's, I would say like adjacent, but not sort of like.
That's adjacent.
That's adjacent. That's adjacent. Everything's adjacent. It's adjacent in a certain. It's maybe sort of like a hyper masculine male equivalency written by a gay man who hates hyper masculinity. It's sort of like the female equivalent in a different direction with totally different trajectories, but they're sort of the same track line, I guess.
I haven't seen anybody take this movie the wrong way. I've seen many people take Fight Club the wrong way. So.
Well, that's because a bunch of hyper masculine men are probably not going to watch this for the right reasons. They're probably just going to be like, "This is really a tough jerk." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every time I'm about to finish, something gross happened.
This is woke.
But yes, the classic story. It's your Snow White. The old person is angry that there's a younger, more beautiful person in the realm.
It's the disappearing mask of Dorian Gray or whatever.
There's also that.
It's just called the picture.
The portrait.
Right, the portrait.
Sorry. Whatever it is. The Dorian Gray thing.
One of my favorite books, written by Oscar Wilde. I've read it a million times. Very gay. Very gay book. It's also, I think, a lot of the sort of glamorization. It's like it's showing the perspective of somebody who's aging and like being like, I wish I could be beautiful again. And then we see this beautiful version go into the world, and her main complaint is that like, I have to do all the fucking work and I don't get to enjoy anything. And she's sleeping in the closet, and then she comes out and she just eats chicken all day, where it's like, you forget how hard it is when you are young and beautiful to be able to like build something for yourself so that you can enjoy yourself. And that's kind of like one of the things that I think about a lot is like, yeah, maybe it was easier to go smooch somebody at a bar when I was like 26 or whatever, but then like think about how much work you had to do to be able to afford to be able to do stuff like that. And it's like, now I have no interest in that anymore. I'm too tired and old and unattractive. But it's like, you know, if you have the wealth that you've accumulated over that time, you don't have the time to use it. I think there's a little bit of commentary in there that this movie is sort of getting at, where it's like, you're always going to look at youth as this like glamorization of what it used to be like, but you forget how hard it was when you were actually there, whether it be financially or emotionally or socially or whatever it might have been. Every moment in your life is difficult, and every moment that is past and gone, you're going to look at those times and be like, man, I really wish that I could sit around during COVID playing Jackbox with my friends because that was so much fun. But you forget about how detrimental the isolation was on your brain. And it's like every day being in a room and not allowed to leave. But like I look at that through like these rose-colored glasses sometimes, where I'm like, that was so much fun, and I wish I could go back.
It was. I remember having a panic, listening to CBC radio 24/7 when getting updates on COVID and thinking the world was actually ending, and having my first ever actual panic attack. I remember I was laying on the couch, and it hit me that like this could be it forever, and we can never go outside again, because it felt very dire at points. And now that I'm in my 40s, I mean, having a kid has kind of rejuvenated my lust for life. But I was, for the last kind of 3 or 4 years, I've been very like kind of stagnant, like not really doing anything new, not learning anything new, not working out, because I was just like, whatever. So I know exactly what you're saying, Steve. I get it exactly.
So that's what I loved about COVID, is that everybody got to experience for 2 years what I'd experienced for 20 before. And I was like, losers, I'm pro at this, yo. Like, y'all trying to figure this out. Now you've also lost time with your lives. I've had a great time during COVID. But my notes for what we're talking about here when I was watching the movie was, young people's opinions on aging are so fucked, I would never be 20 again. That's what I wrote. But I like listening to you guys talking, I'm wondering if it's just different if you're a lady, because like I really would not want to go back to my 20s. I think back to the amount of energy and time I spent worrying about the same shit that this girl's worrying about and that Elisabeth is worrying about, and how much I could have like figured out how to end world hunger by this point with all the energy that I spent thinking about stupid shit and worrying about the world. And it's like, you know, youth is wasted on the young. There's this whole thing, maybe it's this like boomer lady thing or Gen X lady thing that just doesn't happen for millennial women, where we get to a certain age past our like 35 and we're like, oh, we're finally human. Because like we don't care about that anymore, because like in recent years, like I've been moving in a way that for a whole 10 years there chunk, like I didn't do anything, and it's just like I feel like I have a new lease on life just because I'm not an idiot like that, and I give far fewer fucks about everyone's opinion. And like, there's so much pressure on.
It seems like Elisabeth was at 50 still caring about things that like a 25-year-old would care about, and that's
exactly
kind of.
And so that's.
Up in this
I had a question, and like Stephen, you kind of answered this one, but Elisabeth, I said narcissist. So was she like Sue when she was young, or is it a narcissist recreation of youth?
I think that she still is a narcissist in some capacity.
That's what I mean. Like her narcissist brain created
another
that.
narcissist. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think
not
so
she was like
because
that.
even when she's like, I think the evidence for that would be when she's watching the talk show and she's like sort of gripping the chicken and waiting to, like, she's like, you better say something nice about me, and she doesn't really, but she does sort of, like, she gives sort of a backhanded compliment, and her reaction is what you would expect from like a typical narcissistic mother to say, right? Like, you would have nothing if it wasn't for me. I created you. You are part of me. You're the only reason that you're here is because of me, and if you like, and you should be grateful for it. So I think that through my lens, she still is a narcissist, and that's the reason that this whole movie begins, is because she has this base layer of narcissism that exists, rather than go on the date with the goofy weirdo who's still thinks she's the most beautiful person that he's ever seen in her life. She decides to inject herself with a mystery drug from a person she's never met over the phone and squirt out a younger version of herself and rely on that version of her to take care of her.
By the way, we are talking about Demi Moore, who is still a very beautiful woman.
Very beautiful woman.
I don't think that we need to say that, because obviously the reason that they cast Demi Moore is that she's very beautiful. And like, there's a lot of naked acting in this movie, which can be very vulnerable for anybody, right? Like, I don't even like when I have to pee next to somebody at a stall where they might be able to glimpse my ding dong. But like, I can't imagine having to sit on set with like multiple people filming me and having that state of vulnerability put out there. But again, still just as hot as she's always been, I guess. Like, and like, that's the point, right? Is that she's looking at herself through a lens where she looks disgusting and old, but she doesn't. She's beautiful.
Okay, so I will talk about Demi Moore now then, even though we're not there. It feels like the right moment to say it. Okay, bye, Jason. So, sorry, too much ADD. Whenever something
my
changes,
knees hurt.
Whenever something changes, it throws my brain off entirely. Oh, now everyone's gone. This is the Noel show. Noel is the best.
I'll just keep talking. I'm still here.
Okay, so the Demi Moore stuff. So does anyone remember when Charlie's Angels 2 came out and she came back for that as her?
She's the villain in that, I think.
She is the villain, and she was like a Charlie's Angel in the previous generation when they still used guns. So like, she would have been a Charlie's Angel in the television show era in the world of this movie. And when she came back, they were like, hot bod, oh my god, like, what did she do? There was this crazy, like, she looks fantastic, but there was also like, a woman her age should cover up, this isn't right. How much plastic surgery did she get? And this was also the Ashton Kutcher era, where she got a lot of heat for being an older woman with a very young man, right?
Boy,
yeah. And this is also, she had taken so much heat for striptease, for kind of the trajectory of her career so far. So she's had her body absolutely eviscerated over time. Then she comes back to this, and then I find it wild that she's now part of the like Ozempic problem. That like, she's taken the substance basically, and her and the Osborne ladies and whatnot all look extremely unhealthy and extremely skeletal. So there's part of me that like, I don't want to put like, I don't know Demi Moore. She might be the most confident woman in the world, whatever, right? But watching it from the outside, like, I find it really hard to believe that these women are comfortable with themselves. And watching it happen in this movie, and then watching it happen in Hollywood again, where it's becoming like everybody needs to be thinner and you can get this. And the thing with like the substance being an illegal drug, so GLP-1s are obviously not. They're like prescribed medication. And I'm not knocking GLP-1s for anybody who is like overweight to a point where like they need medical treatment for it, or people with blood sugar problems, etc. But the fact that I know people who are under 30, like 25, who don't want to exercise and diet, or are perfectly fine and go on these, I'm not even going to say the sites, go on these like fake medication sites, put in whatever, and then get it mailed to them and just pay like whatever amount it is. You take it once a month, like 7 days switch back and forth, and you have to keep taking it for your whole life. And they're dropping weight. And like this one person, she was beautiful, and now she looks old and she's so young. And it drives me banana sandwich, just how easy it is to get your hands on this. And it's just, I don't even, like, there's been a lot written about it that I'm not going to go into. If you want to read about all of the patriarchy stuff with it and danger and body positivity and everything that's changed.
Yeah, never mind.
But I find it really troubling that you can just find this in a locker. Like, you just get it, you use it for your whole life, you stop using it, you're normal again.
Let's get into that, because this is where it starts in the movie. She wakes up the next morning, the mail has come with the key card 503. She goes to the neighborhood we talked about, it's pretty run down, and she clicks the card and goes in. Now, Stephen, you said you had a theory. Mine was that it's like a rebirth thing. It's like she's being reborn through the hole, but I imagine that's not what you were going to say.
No.
But that was the thing that I wanted to say about it. It's kind of like she's going through a small.
I was like,
canal.
I wonder if this is a thing where they do this on purpose so that you have to like basically crawl on your hands and knees to be able to get this thing. Okay. That you're willing for it. You're willing to dehumanize yourself to be able to get this item that we have for you. But also, like, once the side effects occur, which is your younger self stealing your youth and fucking your whole body up, you will eventually be so decrepit and immobile that you won't be able to crawl in there anymore, and then you'll just die. And so like this is like a security measure. So this is sort of like a lore thing in my brain, where like this company is like, as long as you respect the balance, you'll enjoy the outcomes of everything that you do. But if you abuse it, or you allow your other to abuse it, then you're gonna die, and we're not gonna help you, and you can't get back in here for any answers because you can't crawl anymore, you old fuck.
So this is something I want to ask you guys too about it. Like, do the creators of the substance know? Is it like a demon thing where they know, it's like a Satan giving your soul away thing, where they know that the younger self is always going to abuse it because they have hubris and vanity? So is it like 10 times out of 10 the younger self is going to be like, no, I'm going to stay young and keep absorbing the stabilizer from the host?
Well, yeah, there's definitely a deal with the devil sort of vibe to this movie, because it's a faceless entity that's providing this to people who are aged and need it or want it. Sorry, I should say they don't need it, they want it. That's the thing.
They want it.
They're willing to trade away
this
everything
guy,
they have left.
Pro GLP-1 over here. My theory on what you're saying, not theory, don't play the music, but I've got a theory for that later. Anyone who would actually take this is going to have their younger self like eat their older self. You would have to, like, if I in a world where I took this, I would be the chill older person and be like, I'm just gonna read books and have a good time and go on some nice walks.
Don't take my youth too quickly now. I'd like to be able to see still.
Yeah, there you go. So I'd like want to read, and then my younger self would probably just want to read just in more accessible places. But I wouldn't take the substance. I wouldn't take the GLP-1. I wouldn't get Botox, and I wouldn't take the substance. The only person who's doing it is someone willing to crawl on their hands and knees and is that narcissistic. So they're always going to birth someone that's gross out of them. So the question, who is this benefiting? Like who's behind the substance and what does it benefit? It would have to be some sort of Spawn thing where you kill bad people just to get hell more packed, right? Like that's
and as far as we know, like they don't have to pay exuberant amounts of money or anything. Like it's just it's like an experiment or something, like a mad scientist, or like Jason said, like the devil, which is like always the devil did it is like the easiest fucking theory. Like I hate it, but like in this scenario, it's like there's nothing there, so you can just insert whatever you're comfortable with. It's an evil, like, faceless corporation. It's
faceless corporation, or like a demon,
a big pharma, a demon, or like harvesting energy for something
like
evil.
I really like the demon entity that's trying to get more souls into hell. I think I like that even more than just Satan. But it's also a monkey's paw thing too, a little bit.
Sure.
There's this really cool anime called Madoka Magica, where it's like Sailor Moon type, like magical girl, which is its own trope in anime.
There's an anime about a magical girl.
But
I think every anime is kind of about a magical girl.
These magical girls, they make a deal with this little guy who's like an alien, and they have to, like, it is a monkey's paw. You get a wish, but you have to turn into like a magical girl for that wish to come true. And then what you have to do is you have a little soul thing, and you have to purify your soul by killing witches. And if your soul unpurifies, you turn into a witch. So it's this constant like evolution of the souls depurifying because you're so miserable because of this monkey's paw thing. And then you get the younger girls to destroy the witches who used to be the magical girls, and all of it is for like alien energy creation.
And then you're a 17-year-old boy who has to go to
the anime called Alien Energy Creation, because that would be a good name for an anime.
Yeah. The summer I turned pretty, or whatever.
Got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. She eats the substance, so she gets fucking wasted, and then she calls the substance people.
Yeah, and then, we went through that, and then she goes and does it, and when she gets home, she opens it up, and it kind of reminded me of when you get an Apple product or a new console.
Does. Yeah.
Where it's in its little like you open up,
and the graphic design is really good, and it has like step 1, 2,
I
3.
loved it. Yeah. It looked so perfect, like it's sterile and clean, like it was so aesthetically like it works with the color palette, because if you'd had something that looks a lot more medical, then I think that would just ruin how like simple this concept is.
Not like, a serif to be found.
It's a beautiful simplicity in it that makes it even creepier, I think.
It does, and the fact that like it seems like the people who make this substance also have like a really good graphic design sense, and like how should we make the text like readable, legible, but also impactful? And it's like, oh yeah, it's like the message is there, then there's like a subtext, but it's also very legible. There's nothing like in between the lines. There's no fine print. It's all just there, and you know it, and it's so hard. They don't have to say it out loud. They don't have to spell it out for us. It's just written there, and we know the rules pretty simply. And like, even looking at the tools that they're given, I'm like, are there instructions? And then I'm like, oh, I guess it's pretty all self-explanatory. If you've ever had to use any of this kind of shit before, like you would know how to use it.
Do you know what it looks like? Little kid medical kits, like the toy medical kits.
Sure, yeah. Just in vacuum,
like a stethoscope and a
like the way the syringe looks. It's just kind of very much the. Yeah.
But that's kind of like, it seems like it's designed that way to be very intuitive, so that like the people using it know exactly
that's exactly it. Yeah. SUBSTANCE. I spelled it out for you.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Now we have all of our fucking juice for the next week. Don't worry, just stick it in your knee and you'll be fine. But don't forget to put your old lady back on the. Yeah, you have to switch back.
Spinal cord fluid. Very stem cell research kind of vibe.
Yeah, true. I had forgotten what happened. Like, I had forgotten what happens to your other self. I was like, does she crawl back in? But no, we'll get to that in a minute.
There's some in vitro kind of vibes too. There's a lot of like adjacent medical woman stuff that people have opinions about.
This is our new segment called Adjacent Medical Woman Stuff.
But yeah, the instructions do say you have to switch on day 7 without exception.
Without exception is like the greatest way to say like no ifs, ands, or buts. Like it's so serious sounding. Like without exception, like it makes it seem like if someone said that to you, like you have no argument. It's like, no, without exception, you can't say anything to me that will like allow you to wiggle out of this. There's nothing you can.
She tries to ask 5 different times. They keep calling this fucking person on the phone, and he's like,
"You switch back.
Listen,
we told you." Yeah. By the way, that's me on the phone. I'm the substance guy.
You could do that exact voice.
We heard at the beginning of the episode. That was me.
Yeah. But she does the substance. We get the metamorphosis scene.
I do love the phone guy though. He's like maybe my favorite character in the movie, where it's like I'd like to order. Yes. Like
there is no she. You are one.
You are one. Yeah. It's so good. When she calls and she's like, hello, this is Elisabeth Sparkle, and he's like, are you there? Yes. Like, he just like seems like he's like waiting, like, what do you want? I know what you need.
I'm surprised that they have one customer service guy.
Well, the
so
way
there
I
can't
think
be a lot of people.
The way I feel like it is, it's just one guy, because there's only that many lockers, right? It's not a huge, like, endless Matrix style hallway of lockers. It's just a couple. The way I looked at it is like the number. No, it's still a good amount, but they also start at a very high number. So I'm like, this is probably the amount of people that have used it, right? So she's the 503rd person, and they're all dead. All the ones before are dead.
They
number one
to purify their energy.
Yeah, number 1 to 20, they didn't get 7 days. They got like maybe like 14 hours before, like a real werewolf situation, or like a Cinderella. You must transform back before midnight, no exceptions. Oh gosh.
What a movie that would have been, eh?
Yeah.
Cinderella? No.
I mean, it is kind of a Cinderella style thing as well.
No, I mean, like, if the fairy godmother was a creepy nurse.
Yeah, the fairy godmother. She's like, if you don't return by midnight, you'll turn into a pumpkin. Yeah, boo.
Yay.
The guy who's on the phone doesn't really. He's just like been in a bunch of small stuff. He doesn't really He's done a lot, but like short films and voice acting mostly.
Is this the time to tell you that I have a heart out at 10?
At 10? The fuck?
Oh, we're like 15 minutes into the movie. Okay, good one. Hilarious.
I mean, we didn't need to talk about Ozempic for half an hour. Okay,
wow.
Is there AI moments from a couple weeks? Okay, let's get through a bit of this.
That's the only monologue I've had.
I know.
That's okay.
So let's just talk about the transformation sequence. How about that?
It reminds me of.
We don't need to go through it step by step, but just talk about it as a whole, right?
I know. I was going to start that.
A hole in the lower back where we siphon spinal fluid.
Right. It reminds me of when her back splits and the second back comes out. It reminds me a little bit of the Xenomorph, and then the whole thing feels kind of like an alien body horror hybrid kind of thing. She almost hatches.
Yeah,
the other self out of her.
She absolutely hatches out. It's like if you watch Prometheus, this is exactly how in Prometheus the alien comes out of the back. It doesn't come out of the front. And it's gross, but it's not the grossest thing. So far, like, I'm watching this movie like really waiting. After watching Dennis Quaid suck up to the knuckle on his finger with all the shrimp sauce all over it, like, I'm like waiting to be disgusted. This kind of stuff, I'm like, I can deal with it, with body splitting open and hatching another human out of it. It's kind of cool.
It looks very good though.
It does.
Very clean incision.
Yeah,
it could have been very like
yeah, it could have been nastier. Which again makes me feel it's like,
sorry, what could it have been like?
BBT, Bobberty, boo. So I like that the liquid is so green, and I also like that when she pulls on it slowly. There's a lot of very moody long moments where you're like, okay, so she has to put it up to a certain level, but then I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of juice left in there. Like, I remember being like, but you only activate once. Why did they give you so much activation juice? And then my brain is like, oh, they're going to activate again at some point in this movie. Probably the end. The other one's going to try and activate. And I was like so excited about it. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then every time she started like doing bad things, like, I'm a shitty little girl shit, I was like, oh, she's going to activate and it's going to be a twisted, horrifying monster that comes out of here. I'm excited for that. And then I was also like, or it'll be like an even hotter person. And then I was like, or it'll be a child, because like, you know, she goes back. I'm like, it's just like a little girl comes out like, oh, I don't know how to take care of myself.
But she's magical.
Yes, she's a magical anime girl that pops out. She's a cartoon. But I gotta say, like, this is a weird question, and we can maybe cut this if we don't want to have it in the episode. I have done salvia before. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done salvia before. And
What's that?
I have.
It's just a type of drug that probably should be extremely illegal, but you used to be able to buy it from like convenience stores and stuff.
Yeah,
And
it's like a kind of like, it looks like weed or like oregano. You smoke it. I think it's synthetic, but it might be the salvia plant. And when you smoke it, you have a complete otherworldly, out of body experience, like hallucinogenic experience for like 10 seconds to like 3 minutes in reality. But people have smoked salvia and claimed they lived like a 40-year life as wallpaper.
So why I bring it up is because when I did salvia, when she transforms and it does that thing with all those lines of light, that's like literally exactly my experience when I had salvia. That's what it looked like for the time that I was in it. That's all that was happening. And I remember watching it and I was like, I've never seen this accurately represented before ever. Like what I experienced when I did salvia, this is exactly what it was like. And so it made me kind of like, that's when my anxiety started to pump up, and I was like, oh my God, this movie's giving me anxiety. And then from that moment on, my heart rate was up. My anxiety was starting to peak. And when I get anxiety, like when she's like has to stabilize or whatever, that's what my anxiety does. Like sound goes away. I start to sweat. I can't breathe. And I'm like, my heart goes crazy. And like, from that moment on, I was like at this precipice of anxiety attack, where I'm like, oh God. And so the movie did that to me, and then it continued to just bombard me after, when she's young, and like the music starts like and she's dancing and shit. I'm like, I am about to have a panic attack and I can't make it go away. So good job.
I think the movie did it. Yeah, I think that's what they wanted. Yeah. They wanted people to have a response like that. My salvia was just my salvia experience. Everything went paisley, and I tried to ascend, and the people I was with kept being like, "You got to sit down. I can't let you stand up." But I remember trying to like,
I locked
go to space.
I was in my car, but I put myself in the back seat of the car, and I got my friend to sit in the driver's seat, and I got into the middle, and I clipped one another on the side, and then over. So I'm like, I'm locked in, so I can't, because I've seen people do it and go crazy. So I'm like, I'm gonna just make sure that I can't move, and I just went like, I don't feel anything. Like I turned off. I was like, and then I never did it again, because I was like, that was terrible. I was hoping to have like one of those experiences where you're like, I met my dream wife and we raised a family and we went to planet Voltron and I became a Voltronite and I turned into a robot. And none of that happened. I just saw crazy lights for however long.
That's more like ayahuasca, but yeah.
When I was in there, it felt like that was my life. Like my old life didn't exist, and I was one of those beams of light. I'm like, I'm a beam of light, and I've always been a beam of light, and I'll never be anything else except a beam of light.
I've read too many court cases about people murdering their parents while on mushrooms for me to ever want to dabble.
That's fair.
Anything like that.
But she is the younger version of herself now after all of that stuff.
20 minutes about formerly illegal drugs.
I don't think it's illegal still. I think you can still buy it at some head shops. But back before like head shops where you went in and just bought like bongs and stuff before weed was legal, you could buy salvia. It's kind of like now how you can buy kratom in the States just at like the gas station, or those rhino pills that are just a mixture of like Cialis and ginseng.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Okay, she looks down at her old body and pukes green. It's very, very vivid and very vibrant. She sews up the old Elisabeth's back, hooks up the food matrix, and it zooms out from them doing this moment.
Elisabeth's back sounds like a bar from like a post-apocalyptic world or something.
We're going down to Elisabeth's back for some bullet shots.
Bullet shots.
I thought that the incisions were going to like themselves, like fix themselves a lot better rather than like stay like the stitches staying.
It heals in a
like, pretty
week though. It
terrible
heals.
stitches.
There's still a scar, but it heals like really fast.
No, she had the stitches in for a while. I think
like a week.
I expected it to like Wolverine.
I think the
where
movie
it, like it pops
yeah.
out. And
I was
so
thinking that would happen too, but I didn't expect her to have to sew herself up like that, even though they had a sewing kit. But I think the implication was that before she got the stitches out, that was like months of her going back and forth. That's what I read, at least. Because when she transforms for the first time back, she still has all the stitches. She's like grabbing at them, like, oh fuck, what the fuck? But
right, yeah, that's a good call.
I think that the amount of time that passes in this movie is far greater than you might think at first. Like I think before she takes it for the finger juice, I guess, before she gets the old nasty finger, I think that's meant to have been like 6-7 months of time.
Could be. I thought it was a much smaller scale than that.
I thought it was as well. Somewhere between what both of you are saying. How about that? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So this is what happens when you live in California where there's no fucking seasons.
Exactly.
Give me some passage of time with leaves and shit.
In bed later, she's freaked out. She takes a shower the next day, and then she tries to start talking, and like her nose bleeds, and she has to use the stabilizer. This is where we see how the stabilizer works, which is crazy. You pull fluid out of your other self and inject it into yourself, and then you're better.
Out of the spine.
It says day one.
Yeah.
She sees a casting call ad for the new Miss Sparkle, and she goes to it.
Not to be confused with Mr. Sparkle, the Japanese
Mr.
laundry
Sparkle.
detergent.
Yeah.
Cousin of
fish,
Mr.
lightning.
Quaid.
Yeah, fish, light bulb, and
that's it. Fish bulb.
Just fish and a light bulb. Yeah.
So the time passage, there's something so frenetic about this movie. Something so frenetic about it that it feels like time is passing quickly and slowly because there's so many jump cuts and so many like, and I think that's what adds to the nausea of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's very disorienting.
There's so many smash cuts, and I don't think that my pure anxiety ever went back down to zero. Like I think there's never really a moment of like pure calm that I could chill and like get it out. I don't know if I would have been able to handle watching this movie in the movie theater. I probably could have, but like I think about that sometimes where I'm like I wouldn't have been able to just like pause and be like, which I didn't do during the movie, but like I was sitting on the couch like this for a lot of it.
I had to watch it on like not just like my phone, but like minimized on my phone so that I wouldn't have like a psychotic a mentee be. Like I couldn't experience the movie because that would have been like.
Right.
I was thinking about watching this in the theater too, and I don't think I could have.
I would have died.
Well, it's crazy because like a lot of horror movies, specifically from the 80s, which this movie is borrowing a lot of aesthetics from, love to titillate, right? It's like that's their main thing is like, well, we got to have crazy kills, lots of gore, and boobies, and get the kids fucking horny, and then they go home and they come back next week to do it again. And this movie has all of those things, but it also has this underlying vibe of dread that makes all of the horny energy in the movie just completely like desaturated to me. Like as vibrant as everything is, I'm watching all these things that would maybe otherwise make me be like, ooh, I'm feeling funny. Oh, this is making me turned on. I'm like, everything's fucked like the whole time. Like, I'm not feeling anything other than like complete dread and fear.
Yeah, it's supposed to be gross and not to like pull back to, oh, this reminds me of this movie and that movie. But it's like in Showgirls where the sex is like gross. And like that's kind of the like intention of it. And it and the thing is with this, it's a light touch of sexuality, even though there's so much of it, and like horniness, like there's so much of it, but it's very tame still.
So much butt in this movie is crazy.
Exactly. But it's so, even though it's not out there as gross, the way that it's shot still makes it feel gross. Yeah, and then you get the chicken wing thing.
Yeah.
A lot of Dutch angles, a lot of shots from like up. from the floor.
I think it is like really that sort of like sense of dread that they instill early enough, and the implications of what's happening is twisted. It's frightening, right? Like somebody's stealing your life, or and like even at the beginning where you're not fully sure how this substance works, and you see her, because I thought for a bit, I'm like, do they share memories of when the other person's in there? Like,
I was wondering about that.
But then it's like, oh no, they have completely separate lives, and they never get to have a conversation, right? I was always like, write a note for each other, and like I guess they do start doing that at some point, but they're never nice notes.
It's so weird that they have to kind of Sherlock what the other person was doing for a week.
Yeah, but it's almost like a parent daughter, or even like both parent style, where like they're assuming the worst from what they find, right? They're never like trying to get themselves into the mindset. They're just like, I can't believe this bitch did this shit again, rather than try to think about why they did it. They're just immediately upset about it, right?
That's totally it. But like I am still confused about the consciousness thing though. Like clearly they can't remember exactly what's going on, like that's established. But then the way that the young one wants to take over the old one made me feel like that is Elisabeth in there, in Sue, not wanting to let go. Because then when she tries to, like later in the movie, when there's the whole thing, termination scene, she doesn't want to do it. So it's just like, so there is some sort of shared, there's a link, but it's not memories. It's like a high.
I wasn't sure how, like you're addicted to it. I agree there that there's an addiction factor where it's like, I can't let this go. Like, look at what you've accomplished. I don't want to take that away from you. But at the same time, like, I'm you. So like, this is me. You're part of me. But it felt weirdly to me like a mother-daughter, where it's like, I created you, and I'm seeing what, it's like, I see what you're accomplishing, and like you've accomplished so much in such a little amount of time. You're doing almost more than what I did in the entirety of my career, in however long this movie takes place, like months, or maybe like the better part of a year. And I mean, it doesn't help that there's a giant billboard like blasting into her apartment of her like being like, New Year's Eve celebration or whatever.
Don't look at billboards. That's what we said the moral of the story
that is the moral of the story. If someone didn't look at a billboard in this movie, it wouldn't have happened, and she would have just gone on a date with that weirdo.
So even though there's a lot of tropes, like the mother-daughter thing, like all the tropes that we've talked about, there's so many of them. They're so compact that it does kind of feel like its own thing, even though it's all just a mishmash of a whole bunch of other things. Gives me like Pulp Fiction vibes.
Sure. Yeah.
You should watch it, Naruto. It's Naruto. It's a good. Speaking of magical girls, it's a good movie. It's not that scary. It's just anxiety and
it's unsettling, and it's the implications are more terrifying than what actually happens in the movie. I would even go as far as to say this movie is actually quite funny. Like it does a very good job of balancing the horrifying elements visually with actual comedic timing and understanding structural of like a comedic story, which it does very well. Funnier than a lot of the movies, a couple of the movies we did last month.
There's the high piece, because there's a shot of whenever she takes the stabilizer, like there's a breath in, and then like the eyes get wider. It's like a very, very much a.
That's why I was wondering if it was like a heroin or cocaine thing too.
I feel like there's something about getting drunk on youth somewhere in like Fountain of Youth. Like these are really old ideas, right?
Literal Fountain of Youth.
Yeah.
Only
when you drink the Fountain of the Youth, a youthful, hotter, better version of you pops out, and then you just have to sit in the corner and be like,
just out of the water.
That's me.
What the hell? It's not you, old man. No, it is. She popped out of my back. Yeah.
I got the scars to prove it. So okay, we go to the casting call. The guys are disgusting. And now
this is where I was like, oh, they're not going to show many women in this movie, because they've only shown one woman so far in the movie, which is like, oh no, I don't think they even show her yet. There's so few women in the movie except for the main two that have any speaking role, this one included, you don't see what she looks like, you don't see her face. It's probably not even the actor's voice. They probably just got a physical person to be there and then cast somebody else to do the voice.
Well, like the shareholders, and then when they first show the audience at the end, it's like they just show men. There are women in there, but they just show like all these men just being like, ho ho ho, excellent, naked.
But
is this where they say the tit thing? Nose tit. Like,
yeah, I wish that her tits were in the middle of her face instead of her schnoz or something like that.
The girl that's in before Sue comes in.
And then we hear that later.
Yeah. But then Sue smashes onto the screen. Sue goes and meets with Harvey. She gets hired. He's being even more disgusting. He can't remember his assistant's name, which we kind of talked about. And she tells him she's hired on the spot, and she's like, I have to be here 1 week and 1 week off because I've got a sick mother.
Which is not untrue.
It's not untrue, but it's also kind of like, there's going to be something that comes up later that is like she has to be there. And at first you think that he's going to be like, well, you're going to have the job if you are here all the time. But then he's like, whatever you need.
Yeah. Which is how a lot of these types of people operate, right? Like, it's unfortunate, but it is the reality where, like, if you give a stipulation, they'll give you everything, and then they'll slowly try and take it away, which is what happens in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's not really leaned into as much as I thought it would be. I thought that's what was going to be the main story. It was going to be a lot of her being pressured by people to take more time. But most of it was just selfishness. Like, it was just her taking it because she wanted it, which I think is better and like a little bit more frightening, right? Because it's like she doesn't have any way to defend herself really, other than but that's what I wanted, right? Where it's like, that's worse, much worse.
Yeah, definitely selfishness, and for him, it's shellfishness.
Old shrimp fingers over here,
just slurping down to the knuckle. As she walks outside afterwards, we now notice that people are like visibly stopping and staring at her. And we get a montage of her doing like the photo shoot, taking care of Elisabeth, starting her new show and everything. And then we get a switch back to Elisabeth. This is where she notices the crazy wound on her back. She's in a lot of pain from it. And even though they have the food matrix, you get the inkling that they're super hungry afterward. And she goes and she's just like slamming food. And then she starts plotting out the calendar for her big comeback with her other self. And then she just sits and watches TV until the next Sue streak. She gets the message to go back and get a refill kit, and then she keeps waiting. We go back to Sue. So this is the scene. This is the sequence where she doesn't want to just keep this like dead body in her bathroom, because now she wants to like have a life. So
I think that I honestly think that it's that she's disgusted by it. I don't think that she doesn't want to keep it in the bathroom. It's that she's quite literally disgusted by seeing her, right? And I think that becomes more apparent throughout the movie, where she does become more viscerally disgusted by her, and she's literally going, ew, ew, like she's screaming ew at her, where at first she's just like, I want to get rid of this painting of her, not painting, I guess it's just a giant photo. And then she builds a secret room.
Elisabeth is also increasingly disgusted with herself, and it mirrors the...
Yeah.
So she built a mausoleum for herself.
I do get
very
that,
handy.
I saw some face acting where
I was surprised.
I saw some face acting that to me implied that she realizes she can have a life, and that was part of why she wanted to like have the bathroom free, so she could not have to step over this body if she decides to bring somebody home. She doesn't want.
What happens?
What the fuck is this dead person on the ground here? But yeah,
she does it with so much anger, though.
Yeah,
I think both are true. But I was just, what a handy girl. Like I was
impressed. I was like, holy shit, I don't even know if I could be able to do something like this. And I used to have to build escape rooms where I had to make secret rooms, and I'm like, that's seamless. You can't even tell, the tile's perfect. Look at that. Amazing.
She's going around knocking on the walls to see
Yeah.
where it's hollow, and there seems
For
to
somebody
be this
who was
space.
born 2 weeks ago, she knows how to build a fucking wall. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, it's very Born Sexy Yesterday as well. Lots of tropes.
Or Species. Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember Species, guys? Also
I
a very
do.
horny movie.
I only watched it through the lens of it being on Showcase, though. I don't think I watched it all in one go.
So you
I've
just
seen
jerked
it.
off to it, is what you're saying.
No, I don't. I never jerked off to that movie. That I remember. Who knows? Showcase was great for a coming of age situation.
Yeah, emphasis on the first word.
Ayo.
Hey.
Age.
Nasty.
Where's
This
the
podcast is
boner
rated
alert?
D for dirty.
Where's
Oh,
the
yeah.
boner alert? That's a perfect
Hey.
moment for it.
Ay, caramba.
I
Uh-oh.
Boner
Where is it?
alert. Okay, I'm sorry that I started us on this path.
No, I need to find it because there's a moment coming up where I'm going to want to play it. I don't see it here. Green Ranger, Chucky. Oh, here it is. Here we go. There we go.
So good.
Has anyone seen The Backrooms? I have not seen it yet, but I will watch it eventually.
I will.
I wanna
not,
see Obsession.
unless You guys make me watch it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen any of the YouTubers turned filmmaker movies. I'd like to do maybe a month of that one day.
Iron Lung, Back Lungs. Iron Lung.
Back lungs was my nickname in high school.
Because somebody gave you a blood eagle. It was gnarly. You never recovered. Don't look that up.
I assume it's some sort of murder thing.
It's a Viking. It's a Viking thing you do to your enemy. Right. So this is where we meet Oliver, the next door neighbor. He hears the construction going on. He starts slamming on the door, thinking it's Elisabeth Sparkle. She opens it up. She's a babe. He
Imagine being that much of
stumbles
a
all
prick,
over.
though, to your like hot older female
Yeah.
neighbor. Why not be nice to her?
He's like, I love
'Cause we
that
live in a
things are going on in
society.
the building.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't like women who are over 50.
The patriarchy.
He can't even say his own name. He's like, my name's Oliver. Oliver.
It's cartoonish, just like
Yeah.
you said.
He can't even. This is weirdly like out of all the acting, this feels the most sort of natural. Like he's not a bad actor, whereas like it seems like some of the other ones they purposefully added bad acting in to make it seem like this is from another planet. Whereas this guy just seems
He's just
like,
how I would react to Margaret Qualley, I think.
he just seems like a character from like a shitty comedy or something, you know, being like,
Yeah.
ooga, honk honk, okay, I'll talk to you later. If you ever want to sucky, just come on over. And
It's
you're
kind
like,
of
"Oh."
funny that she's a nepo baby too. Like I feel like that's the metatextual stuff with Demi Moore and then Andy McDowell's daughter, who's
Well, I think that's
being
also
told
maybe-
to do as rigid a performance as her mother did. So
But maybe that's also like part of the reason that they're like, perfect. This is like exactly what we want, you know?
yes, no, it's so many. I don't know if it's intentional, but it works. It's
Yeah. I feel
The
like in
labels.
terms of like nepo, I almost said nepo babyism, but like nepotism, in Hollywood and things, I think that like I don't give a shit. Like I don't care. I'm not like unless they're like a really crappy actor or like somebody who sucks so wholeheartedly that they don't deserve to have the position. I'm like, if you're a good actor, then why not flex your parents' powers? You know, do it.
yeah, it's like same with hockey players for me. Like you have a lot of nepo babies, but they're
Yeah.
good at hockey. And
Like
you
even
got
even within this movie, like Dennis Quaid, his son Jack Quaid is like
Jack Quaid is amazing.
He's amazing. He's a good actor. He's a funny, personable person. He doesn't seem like a weird creep. You know, give him all the roles that he wants and needs, and it seems like it's working out for him.
it's just interesting casting choices all around.
For sure, yeah. But yeah, and then this is one of the things that I think works to this movie's favor is that like every other person outside of the main cast are all just weird, strange people. It's almost like watching a spaghetti western from the 60s or something where they specifically cast people who looked weird. They're like, we just want people who look interesting. It doesn't matter if they're good actors. We're just going to put people in that look odd. And it works because it also emphasizes how beautiful the people that are meant to be beautiful in the movie are, right? When you have all these sort of like normal to odd looking individuals walking around amongst them.
The first time I ever saw Margaret Qualley, she was in Death Stranding. Remember the game Death Stranding? You started playing that, Steve. She's in that. She plays
I do remember
a character called Mother.
Whoa.
Mother.
And in this movie, she gets birthed by a mother and then tries to kill her. Crazy.
Right. So, so speaking of boner alert, the next sequence after this is the time to pump it up sequence. I don't think I need to play the boner alert sting. We got it in there. But as I was saying, watching this time around, the scene went on forever. This whole element was part of the marketing materials for the movie. This is why I was like, what even is this thing? You take a potion that makes you younger? Cool. How could this be a horror? Well, you get birthed out your back.
You get birthed out your back. You've
so
got a
many
back
other things.
baby.
Back baby, don't come back. Back baby, don't come back.
I want my baby, back baby, back baby, back baby.
The director was at Chili's and she's like, oh my God.
Eureka! She drops her bloomin' onion or whatever. Yeah. So do you guys know what the constant biker thing is? I don't really understand what that meant. I think, obviously she fucks a biker later and that's a thing, but what is, or is it just supposed to be the two of them slamming into each other? It seems like there's these weird moments of stuff happens and in my brain I'm like, oh, they're hallucinating before they wake up and that was just something that they hallucinated during the transfer, and then it turns out oh no, that all actually happened. That happens a few times in the movie where I'm like, oh, I thought that wasn't real, and then by the end of the movie I'm like, oh, it was all real, all of it must have been real. She turns into a giant crunk looking thing.
Yeah, but the guts flying out of her back didn't happen.
That wasn't real. Yeah,
the chicken thing didn't actually happen. That was just a nightmare.
Yeah, because you would die if you pulled a chicken wing out of your tummy like that.
That's true.
I thought it was real, because they're not real bodies.
Yeah, but
to
when all the guts fall out
both
her
of those
costume.
scenes, they wake up in a
Yeah.
sweat in the mausoleum.
This movie just fucked my brain. So.
It's a mind.
Also, do they have to be naked to transfer their consciousness?
Right. That's a good point.
Why are they always naked? I don't understand.
Put some
I
pants on.
question
It's time to get back in. And she just takes all her clothes off and goes in. I guess maybe it's more hygienic to not wear clothes for a week and be stagnant and not moving. Your clothes might irritate your skin or something. I feel like there's a logical
also, you'd
way
have
to do
to
it.
dress the other one, and the level of care that it would take to take care of the dead body is just not a thing.
But she's also rich. You could put her in a bed. Imagine how
Yeah.
fucking stiff your body would be waking up after 7 days of this. You'd be like, fuck! Even if you're young, you'd be all messed up. The whole
She
week
wraps
you'd be
her in a-
recovering from
Yeah.
neck pain. You'd be like, oh god.
She wraps
Well,
her in a
but one of
blanket
them
later.
hates the other one, so
Yeah.
you're gonna leave the other body in the worst position ever and
That's
just be
true.
like,
They
"Fuck
both
you."
they both hate each other. They never once leave their body in a comfortable position, not even one time.
Mhm.
Just dragging her around the apartment by her feet, and her head's just
Man.
downstairs.
I don't know if I can explain how much I love when she's an old lady and she's just sprinting around dragging her. I'm like, this is amazing. Which is like an Evil Dead hack, like you said at the beginning.
Yeah,
so good.
So Sue gets into the cat suit this time around, tells Elisabeth she won't be out late, and as she notices that the food matrix is sucking back, there's only a few hours left, and this is where things kind of started going off the rails for the first time because she's running out of that food. Right as the bag starts to completely suck dry, you hear her come in, and then you're like, oh well, it's going to be fine. Of course it's not. You can hear a guy's voice.
It's the opposite of fine.
Yeah, they start getting together, and then this is the first time that she sees what happens when you kind of run out of the stabilizer.
Yeah,
and
when I was watching this sequence, I was like, when it was breathe, it's almost like breathing, right? I was like, oh, that's what's happening inside. Like she's turning into a husk. And I was like, two things are going to happen right now. She's going to run in there, sprint, and fix it right away. Or the noise is going to be like a bunch of people partying, or she's like bringing some dude to fuck. And dude to fuck was exactly what happened. Also, not even a hot dude.
It was so, that whole scene's so disgusting. I was so grossed out.
Me too.
Just some gross motorcycler.
Yeah. Grosser than the old hag finger, I'd say. Way grosser.
Oh, way grosser.
but she does complete. We do find out that she does complete the switch, but right before that is the first time she has one of those nightmares, and it's her like the back of her dress opens and a bunch of like viscera falls out, and then she wakes up after the nightmare. So I'm wondering if you run out of the food matrix and you're starting to be on borrowed time, and she does that too. She pulls a little bit extra. She pulls one of the vials to get the little bit of extra time. Maybe that's what causes those crazy dreams.
Hallucinations.
Yeah.
I still am like, so I guess just that the biker thing was just like a weird premonition of her fucking the biker guy, because it was like the biker coming right at the screen, and then like that's when she wakes up for the first time. There's a lot of stuff that I don't fully get. I maybe have to watch this a couple more times, but I don't think I will, because it made me a little bit too uncomfortable.
When I started the movie, I was like, oh yeah, this is one of those ones I was like, I only need to see that once.
Yeah. Why
do I have to analyze
that?
it? Ooh.
I would have been fine to see both times, but I'm glad I watched it. You know,
B did a real substance to us.
Yeah. We're actually all three of B's substances that we all got squirted out, and we just don't realize it.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah,
or is it great?
No, B is in a closet somewhere with her back stitched up, and Jason's like, guys, I gotta go for a second. Like Jason leaves and B comes in, like, hey guys. I was here the whole time.
But when Elisabeth comes out into the apartment, this is when we sort of this is interesting, Stephen, that you're like, it's been months of them going back and forth, because it could be that it's gotten increasingly worse and worse, but it does feel like she's coming out and seeing this, like, the place trashed from partying for the first time.
Yeah.
And she's reacting to it. So
this is maybe the first time she's had a party there. Like maybe she's been partying there all week because they shot all their butt jiggling videos or whatever.
Their thrust videos.
Yeah. So this could be like two months, the end. Like she hasn't been out for 2 months, but like she is wrapping up she's like making her fame, right? Like there's no way that she would become that famous within seconds, right? Like there's got to be like a 6 to 7 month period that it's taking place. So that like the nasty trashed room is just like the result of her having a party there the night before. She got a bunch of her dancers, her backup dancers, and some weird biker boys, and they went out and partied and, came back. Because that's 7 days. They have to switch every 7 days. Nothing bad has happened yet, but we don't know how many times they've switched back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Without exception.
Without exception. You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up.
Troy left his motorcycle helmet behind, and that's when she notices one of her fingers.
Of course, his name is Troy.
Yeah. And the wound where the stabilizer is taken from on her back is like all jacked up now from it being utilized again.
It's very painful. Yeah.
Yeah. And she calls the substance person.
I just want to know how to reverse my evil finger that I have.
What has been used on one side is lost on the other side.
You guys can't talk at the same time like that.
Sorry.
What were you saying, Noel?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you were saying
used on what?
I accidentally the substance was accidentally used. I can't remember what the exact line is, but yeah, she's like, she's trying to make it seem like no big deal, but and the guy on the other one's like,
it's like if it's a mistake.
Yeah.
That classic, like, oh well, if it was a mistake, can it be redone?
She was clearly drunk.
There's no coming back from what happened. I know. What do you have, like a weird toe or something?
And she's like, no, I need to know how to reverse something. And no, not happening. You got to live with that hag finger. I know it starts at the fingers. imagine him like being like also a hag man, like sitting. He's like, I was the first. I was
the first. They tried it on me first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even do a week. First time I was like, no, I'm staying. But there's the next part where Oliver comes back to the door, and this is the gross thing about Oliver. Now he's got all this weird extra confidence because he's talking to a door and not to her. He's even like, why don't you come on out? I can see you standing on the other side of the door there.
Yeah.
Like, where does confidence come from? That's like the dude thing of like incel behavior, like looks maxer behavior. He's not a looks maxer. He's just an incel.
One thing I did like though is when she first comes out, I thought that she was on like a step, like you had to step up into because she's like significantly taller than him, and I'm like, oh no, he's just that little. I think he's actually just like a little man.
He kind of reminded me of Charlie Day a little bit, but Charlie
Day has too much charisma to be able to play this role.
I wish I could watch this movie again and pay attention to certain things because I really want to see the way that the actors are framed, because like the sizing, like you're saying, is different, and I feel like there's very specific reasons why certain people are shot in certain ways and in certain frames, and others are. But I'm never going to watch it again. So
yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's like in that particular moment when they first meet, I'm like, oh, is she on like a step above him? Like that's kind of cool that they're positioning her like that. I'm like, oh no, I think that he's actually just meant to be smaller, which is good because it's showing that she's like now she looks down on everything around her. I'm like, this is good. This is pretty great. I think that all of the framing in this movie is completely deliberate, which is one of the first things you said to me when we were talking yesterday. You're like, the framing in this is wonderful. I guess yes, I agree, because it's like they're not breaking new ground, but they're utilizing all the tricks of the trade to really make sure that the story that they're telling is being as impactful as it should be.
And not a lot of dialogue to tell that story.
Yeah, it's mostly people panicking the entire time.
And going, Sue.
Yeah.
Sue.
I'm Sue. Yeah, my hand is gross. How do I fix that?
So Elisabeth goes to get the next refill, and when she goes into that room again, there's like these weird sounds, and that's why I was like, is hell on the other side of those little compartments?
Yeah, it's like
what is the substance? A demon?
Like a weird noise. I thought that was maybe in her head because she later hears the voice again, right? Like when she's about to order the termination solution or whatever. It's like, are you sure? Like, oh. So I think it's just her. She's going crazy. But
I'll be back in 1 second. The next scene is the diner where she meets the old man. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Just a little feminist masterpiece theater moment here. The hands being the first thing to gross out is kind of interesting because women aging, the things that we get made fun of are what our hands look like, our necks, and our upper arms. It's like, well, you need to be gloved, and like those are the parts that show you're aging.
Right.
So, kind of interesting that.
I mean,
that's what that shows.
The woman who wrote it knows what she's fucking talking about. But yeah,
she's not 50 yet. She's 49.
Maybe she's scared of 50. That's why she wrote it. She's like, oh god, what happened?
Honestly, one of the things that I wrote in my notes is I'd be interested to see how this film is remembered in 20 years. Like, it was very well received, but I don't hear a lot about it now. Like, as much as it's probably the circles that I run into, but I do want to know if there's going to be a revision on it in 20 years, if it's still going to be remembered in 20 years, like, where does this fall in the horror canon? And I think it's going to be sad if it's not in the horror canon.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that something like this, I think will probably, because it's only been out for 2 years, right? Like, I think like 10 years from now, even there'll be a whole generation that discover it outside of what they, like how this kind of stuff, it's almost like every horror movie, right? Like, there's not a ton of horror movies that enter the zeitgeist of communication or conversation, but 10 years is usually when you start to gauge, like, oh man, Shaun of the Dead, amazing, like where it's like, I saw it in theaters, and you like wear it as a badge of honor, whereas like this could be one of those, I think.
When I think back to all like the canon like horror films too, like this one feels like the most artistic one that was seen as that was loved when it came out and not loved by certain people and then revised.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. This one was just loved in general. There was no one
yeah.
that hated it, and there's no one that. I mean, there's a lot of people that loved it, but like there was no one that shit on it for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to find someone who says this movie is shitty.
I don't think I've ever heard that. I think I've only ever heard positive things about this movie, which I was kind of like apprehensive about watching it for a long time, specifically because of that. Because I was like, the people saying that, I was like, these people, I don't know if I agree with their opinions. And then I watched it, and I don't disagree. I think it's pretty great.
Either.
I think it's pretty great.
And a lot of these like really campy, and it's not quite campy. That's not quite the word for it. It's just like ahead of their time, and this feels like it landed at exactly the right time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like 80s glam was huge like 10 years ago, right? Like we were in like you couldn't turn around.
30-year cycle.
Yeah, you couldn't turn around without it being like 80s is back, baby. Like everybody loves the 80s, and like that's, I assume, just like a direct result of millennials coming into power in terms of creativity and nostalgizing like things that they barely were a part of.
There's always the decade cycle. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and this movie leaning into that, even though it's now considered sort of like cringe or not worthy of your attention anymore, I liked, because I was like, oh no, but they did it in like an interesting way. They sort of made it feel like this movie takes place in the 80s, even though it doesn't, like in so many strange ways. Everything from like the costuming to the lighting to just setting the majority of the movie in her apartment, where it's like she was the queen of the 80s, and now she's still living in that palace, but like the palace looks like it still looks nice, but it looks old. Like it doesn't look like it's shit anymore.
But yeah, the color palette
weirdly predicted Ozempic in a way.
The color palette also feels like the colors of the squiggles, like those 80s 90s squiggles.
The ones behind us right now?
Squiggle. Yeah. Squiggles.
Yeah. We got those 80s squiggles.
Exactly that. But yeah, so her being 49, so she's an eldritch millennial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Buy our Eldritch Millennial sweater. It's the only one available right now.
Actually, I think that's young Gen X.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think
Very young Gen X.
I think that like Jason, you're millennial, but you're like right on the edge, right? Like a couple of years on the edge of it.
Yeah.
I think 80 is
on the other side. Like the people 1 or 2 years older than me are like very young Gen X, and I'm very.
You guys are like waving over the fence to each other. You're like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, do you guys like He-Man? And I'm like, no, I have
Not
Ninja Turtles
really.
and Ghostbusters, and they're like, I was a little too old for those.
I was too young for both of those.
And I'm still over here being like, Gargoyles reboot, Gargoyles reboot, Gargoyles reboot.
Yeah. Man, it was the good stuff back then.
Yeah,
It
Darkwing
was
Duck.
like commercial.
But Sue also gives me like the embodiment of like cringe Gen Z youth vibes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Where they think everything is cringe because they've just learned to hate themselves from
There's like,
social
ew,
media.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that being said, it's like she is aware of it as well, right? Like, or I guess maybe that was your point, was that she's cringing, but she's cringing for crazy stylized reasons, like a turkey leg poking out of her butt or whatever, where it's like, you know, I have to be completely aware of everything on my body. Even the moment where she's showering for the first time, it's very gratuitous, but I'm watching it being like, oh, this isn't horny. This is her examining her own body and relishing in the fact that she has a body that she remembers and not like a saggy butt or whatever. Yeah.
No, but she thinks that Elisabeth is cringe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then, so like that, you know how they're like, ew, skinny jeans are so cringe. And like, there's just no whimsy in that generation. And now they're being like absolutely like pestered by Gen Alpha. And you're like, but like every generation hates every generation, but the vibe is different. And that vibe of Gen Z was just like the frenetic energy of hate that Sue has for Elisabeth, like diluted, like this, like at its
Gen
like
Z
the
are like
essence
in their 30s now.
of
It's
cringe.
wild to see them, like you said, getting pestered by Gen Alpha, and Gen Alpha are like in their 20s, and it's so bizarre. And like we millennials have a weird relationship with Gen X, but like Gen X and millennials have this like hatred towards boomers for leaving the planet the way it is.
Well, they
but,
fucked it up.
They fucked it up bad, but we
They
have the
dropped the ball.
class consciousness that Gen Z and Alpha don't really have yet. So
Yeah.
we're kind of like the gatekeepers. Each generation is kind of the gatekeeper to the next generation down, and it's really funny right now because when you see, well, it happened to millennials 10 years ago, where the millennials started aging into their 30s and being like, "Oh, we're in control of stuff now," but we don't know how to do it because we weren't taught.
We're all
Just
still
Gen X
not in
were all
control
like-
of it. They're
Yeah.
all doing the thing, but we have more in common with the greatest generation than any of the generations around us, like emotionally, ecumenically.
Except we don't have to go to war. We
Grammatically.
don't have to do any wars.
We don't have to watch
No,
our
but
friends die on the
there's a
battlefield.
lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of trauma stuff that we've gone through that's really like we're an unlucky generation, even if it's not we've been marched to war, but some of us have not.
We
me.
have different wars
March
to
to different
fight.
wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
class wars
to
and-
march to the bathroom, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
Da, da,
I'm gonna
da. You've got to pump it up.
I'm gonna move us through the diner sequence. She goes to a diner. She orders a cafe mocha, which I was like, that's an interesting choice. And she's kind of freaking out. She's stirring it around and like, ah. And then she sees an old guy with the same birthmark on his arm. And then she examines closer and notices out of the top of his shirt, you can see the scar on his back. And then she puts together that it's that nurse
Creepy
from
nurse.
earlier. And he kind of does like a soothsayer. You don't want to go down that road. It warns her about, you're going to end up lonely if you don't, have some agency. And your old self-worth is still viable. Like you're not that old.
It's so perfect that it's the guy who, like, the weirdly misogynistic bitchy gay friend who's just like, you could use the substance, and then it's like a man coming in and being like, you're still valuable, and you're like, patriarchy. That's you.
I walked back to my computer and I have a screenshot of the movie up, and I was like, why is there porno on my computer right now? I was like, oh wait, that's not porno. That's just the movie we're talking about.
That's just the
Gotta
thrusty
pump
scene.
it up.
Yeah.
But after that, Steve, is there anything you wanted to say with the diner sequence?
I mean, I like
probably-
it. I think it's really good. Again, another very sort of predictable moment in the movie, but like, I liked that. At first, I didn't know what was going on, and then I was like, "Oh, this is where all the oldies go when they get their Ozempic boxes to go into the corners and
like right around the corner,
and have the realization that they're having a rough time." But then it's revealed that he followed her because he's like, "I was just curious to see how much she'd stolen from you already, or whatever."
Oh my god, do you know what the boxes look like? They look like Yeezy boxes, like the Yeezy shoe boxes. Because they used to have like 500 on them, 350. Like it was the model. So it was a brown thing, and then like anyway, look it up. They look exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with the Yeezy boxes, but to me, they just look like Amazon boxes.
I worked in them shoe stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at them right now, and it's a gray box that slides out, and it says the number on it. Yeah, that's a good one. It's somewhere between a Yeezy box and an Apple product.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeezy
inside
box or
packaging is
those fake medical boxes that come to your door with your dick pills or your.
I wonder how many renditions
body
of like
shaming
the packaging
pills.
they went through, because like movies like this often they'll go through like 5-6 different versions. Like they'll get like a bunch of options and be like, well, what do you want it to look like, right? And then they'll do it. I wonder how many. There was probably a version.
The art department.
Yeah, there was probably a version where they went through that looked like an actual Apple, like a white, clean white box and stuff. Like they probably had versions of that, and they're like, it's got to be like a cardboard piece of shit. And then the inside stuff is scarily sterile, you know? That's freakier. And you're like, that's true. That is freakier.
Someone looked over and was like, those Yeezys that I've got.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You know what really freaked me out? The first time I got Yeezys.
They look over and they're in their kitchen and they're like, a vacuum sealer. Let's vacuum seal all the weird devices too.
Also, like the pull string to open the tape is like, that's unsettling to me because it's reminiscent of like cracking a wax seal on like an old timey medieval letter or something. Like it has that same sort of energy to me.
He's okay. He's in the Old West.
So after that, she also encounters Troy. He almost hits her with his motorcycle.
Oh yeah, and Troy's a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, he's just a complete dickhead to her.
And
when she gets,
not surprising, you know.
Yeah,
I looked up the old man from the diner because I was like, he looks like 10 different actors to me. And then I looked him up. I'm like, I haven't seen anything he's in. So don't even look it up, Jason. You're gonna be like, oh, he's just in a bunch of random shit that I've never seen before.
That's what happened when I looked up the guy that does the Substance voice. I was like, is that somebody? Is that Kevin Pollak?
He does a good job though of seeming like a crazed old man, like it's like something out of a Freddy Krueger movie or something. You know? It's good.
She goes back to her house and then sees the note from Fred with the number. She kept this old.
No, she doesn't see it. She fucking searches like a maniac for it. She pours out everything she owns. She pulls out her purse and she finds the nasty cigarette stained, mud puddle darkened, tea stained scrap paper, finds his number and calls him and invites him on a date. Again, Fred, good energy. He's like, are you there? And he's like, I'm just shocked. I didn't expect to ever hear from you again. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, I was very busy, and you know, I'd love to go on a date with you, so get some drink.
One of the few moments in this movie where you feel good for a second, kind of like, that's nice.
This is the part that calms you down, but like I also was like, she's gonna fuck this up somehow. Like some sort of crazy thing's gonna happen. I don't know what it's gonna be. So like I calmed down this much, and then it went up past beyond the thresholds of like, no, I'm uncalm again because she's gonna start freaking out about something, and she does, but majorly, maybe more than she does for the rest of the movie. She first like is looking in the mirror and she looks nice, and then she starts having flashes of Sue in her head being like ultra hot, and then it starts having male gaze moment where she's like, I'm gonna cover up, and she like puts on more blush and makeup, and it's all going crazy, and then she just kind of says fuck it and stays in, and then this is when she starts slamming old moldy food from the fridge. They do this really good editing technique where it's like she keeps looking at the clock and she's supposed to meet him at 8 at like Squiligi or I don't know, lasagna's. I think Luigi's. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but
Waluigi's?
Waluigi's indoor pasta parade, and it's like the time is slowly counting down, and you don't know if she's gonna go or if she's not gonna go, and I don't know if all of you guys did this, but I kept being like, just go on the date. Like I was like screaming. I was saying that. I had seen the movie before. Yeah. I know.
What did you call it? Waluigi's
indoor pasta parade.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
I'm writing that down too.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm putting that on the t-shirt list.
I almost said playground, but parade was funnier.
I was not like go out. I was like, oh my god, I need this movie to end. I put me out of my misery.
Yeah, I hated it so much, but it's also designed that way for you to feel.
Oh yeah, discomfort. That's
a horrible sinking feeling for her, and also like, you know, in movies where you're like, if the person just didn't do that thing. This is a thing that I used to have all the time watching like romantic comedies when I was a kid, where there's always like the fallout. Or even just like sort of standard written scripts, or it's like there's this one little moment that sinks and everything goes wrong. And I would watch it and be like, just don't do it this time. Even though I've seen this movie 800 times, don't say that thing to your best friend that's going to fuck up this entire adventure. It always happens because it's a movie and you can't change it with your mental powers as much as you try. And this is one of those moments. Yeah.
You're like, oh
no. And this is the moment where you're like, I want to see what would have happened if she went on that date with Fred. And then Fred is texting her like a million times. And I think the craziest part, which is also really visually interesting, is when she's wiping off her lipstick aggressively for the third time, and she wipes it across her face, and then she wipes it all over her face, and she just has this crazy red blush like all over her entire face, and she just looks like a painted demon. And
like
then
when you're at the end of your night, and you're just trying to get it off with like whatever, then you wake up and you still have like a bit of mascara and like your whatever. It reminded me of like partying way too hard and waking up in your makeup very whole.
When Madison wipes her face and wipes her mascara, I always thought it looked like, you know how like fashion models in the 90s would have like very like smoky eyes. So one time I was like, you look like fashion. So now whenever she has mascara on and just like does one of these ones, she goes, am I fashion? So
fashion.
Yeah, I get it.
Turn to the left.
Yeah.
get it because of that? I don't know, Jason.
What?
You never woke up in a ditch covered in mascara? That's not fashion. Oh man.
No, but you know,
I get what you're saying.
It's a cute story that you have with your partner, but like she's having a mental breakdown where she wipes her lipstick all over her entire face.
I was more relating to what Noel was saying, not what happens in this movie, because she's not fashion. Yeah. She has red blood.
Am I fashion yet? She says it into the mirror.
I forgot about the scene where Fred is texting her, and I just got it when I looked over.
And you're like, oh wait, there are cell phones in this movie. Like, yes,
it also gives me the writing on the mirror in lipstick, only in this case you're writing on yourself because yourself is in the mirror and you can't separate that.
I do think that like the acting in this moment, I do think the acting in this moment where she's wiping, like this is where I'm like, oh, this is like the equivalency of like every male Oscar winner who's like smashed a mirror while screaming in a mirror or whatever. Right?
This is the clip. This was the Oscar clip, right? Like
it probably was.
Well, yeah, I've seen this moment. I've seen this moment from this movie a million times. So.
And it's good. Like I can see the emotion, I can feel it, and I can tell what she's thinking. And like, there's never a moment where I don't know what she's thinking in this entire. It's like a long sequence as well. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
There's so many sequences in this movie that are so long, and that's what makes them so much more unsettling. It's not like so long that they lose you. It's just you're like, ugh.
No, I don't think there's ever horror. There's not a moment in this movie that lost me, except for actually maybe like middle way through this. I was like, the me being lost was me yelling at the screen, being like, go on the date. But like, I know she's not going to go on the date. So I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. Just smash cut to her crying in the shower again, because like that's the safe haven or whatever, but it slowly becomes a cage, which I kind of like throughout the movie, where like every time you see the shower, it slowly becomes this sort of like tower of tiles around her that you can't escape. It's pretty cool, but yeah, I don't think I ever was lost in this movie or like lost interest. I was always kind of wrapped, being like, I need to see what's gonna happen next, even though no,
even though you don't want to.
This is
but you do.
A motorcycle road to tragedy. Yeah, all of this is bad. It's gonna end poorly.
So speaking of, we go over to Sue. She's doing more exercise video stuff. She has like a bump or a boil appear on her butt, and there's this extremely gnarly bit. We've talked about it a couple times already, where the growth turns into like a chicken drumstick that she pulls out of her stomach. It's very graphic, very intense, but it is just a dream, and then it's her switching over to Sue in the reality of it all. And it turns out that Elisabeth has been doing her own version of slopping it up on her side, where she's got old food everywhere, and she sort of made a mess of the place in a similar way. This isn't even as bad as it gets, but there's like chicken everywhere and stuff, because she's just been slumming it, because it's kind of a revenge thing now, because you're going to make a mess in my place. Well, I'm going to make a mess for you on the other side. Sue finds it all and calls the substance, but there's no you, there's no us, there's only you. Another one of those calls.
The substance customer care.
The substance customer care must be like 503 is too much. They keep calling for every little problem.
Oh, I always assume there's probably someone way worse because like her calls are like bad, but they're like not that bad as a customer service person. I'm like, there's probably someone else who's freaking out way harder, like that old man nurse guy.
Who like immediately, like I was saying earlier, like who immediately just started pulling stabilizer day 2. Like, I'm staying young.
My other keeps taking nude pictures of me and putting them in people's mailboxes.
I'm on Wiki. My old self is on Wiki Feet and doing numbers.
So
Good numbers. And I'm not seeing a dime.
that I really don't understand. So is it like an MLM? Like, why is the guy who
That's what it feels
was
like.
on the substance gave the substance to someone else, but he's not the creator of the substance because or did he like use it on himself and he's Dr.
No, Elizabeth
Jekyll
is
and
in his
Mr.
downstream,
Sulu?
so
Like it. I was wondering if you guys picked up on something that I missed from
No,
going.
I think it's purposefully you're meant to like zero in on the horror of her story and like not really question anything about how the rest of it's working. Because as soon as you kind of crack open that like door of like question asking, everything sort of falls apart. And like I was doing that today where I'm like, well, what about this? What about that? And like it doesn't make sense, and that's kind of the point of the movie, right? It's just like this is like a fable. This is basically like a bedtime story, but for adults, right? Like it doesn't really make any sense if you think about it. There's
Snow White.
It's just steeped in it's just steeped in metaphor and simile.
It's the dog looking in the water, and the dog in the water has a bone, and he goes to bite the 2 bones. No, there's no bone.
It's a fairy tale for adults, and it's scary, and you understand what the moral is at the end. Like that's kind of what it is.
So it's got to be an MLM. There's like no.
It must be,
yeah.
That old guy's like,
I got a couple more hits down there. I can get a couple more good spines.
You're like, what?
Just turn me back into a youth.
We can't.
Well, the way he went for that spine, he's like, ooh, it's just like
you got a good spine there, Sonny.
Yeah. Because it's like you could make a world where the Ozempic people promised him his youth back if he could find more candidates to do tests on or whatever, and then like that's like if you turn the substance into a TV series or whatever, like that's where you can do it if you want to, but like that's not what it's about. It's about turning into a monster at the end. That's what it's about.
I do want more stories in this. Yeah, I do want more stories in this universe, but at the same time, I think Steven, you're right. It's like one and done. And in what like the gimmick of a show,
this would be like making Videodrome 2. Like that's not nobody wants to see that. You understand what this movie was trying to do, and it did it well. So like why would you ever try and make another one? The next one would be like, what if a crazy person took the substance?
They always do that though, don't they? You're like, this movie was great. What? A 2? Oh no.
Yeah, but like there's somewhere it's like, okay, we'll take these same characters and put them in a fun adventure. This movie is more like it would just be about the substance again, and then it would be less interesting, right?
Yeah, you can't psychologically traumatize people twice in the same way.
But yes.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you.
I don't know. I just watched this movie twice, and the second time it got me almost the same.
I guess the draw would be like you take someone like Johnny Depp or whatever, and he's like, oh, well, you know, I just used to be a hot Captain Sparrow, and now I'm a fucking sloppy Captain Sparrow. Ding, 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 ding. And he, you know, young, hot Johnny Depp, digitally de-aged, is now the substance running around, starring in a new pirate series, Space Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm sorry that we're down this road, but
That's
you
coming.
could have the substance be something else, like the same company that brought you the substance. Like from the makers of the substance.
Brought you the flavor.
Yes.
The rot.
Yeah. Something else. You know, like now that I'm thinking about it, you probably could do something cool with this, but why?
Sure. Yeah. No, and I think again it's because it's a fable, right? You can't really tell Little Red Riding Hood 2. Like what would that story be about? Or like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears 2, like
the Red Riding.
What would it be? You know, like that's kind of what this feels like to me. And I think we all agree that any kind of sequel would be just a cash grab at the name, The Substance, right? And it didn't even make that much money that it would be worth even trying to do. So
No. And it's such a, like, even though it's derivative, it's such a kind of original story that's fitting into a gap in horror that it would be very unusual for this director, from what I've seen, from what I read about her, to do something like
and
that.
she's also the writer, so she probably, and because she fought so hard for, like you said, like editing rights and stuff, she probably would just be like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? But no, we told the story, it's good, it's fine, you don't need to make a substance 2 to 6.
It's called The Substances.
The subverse.
Then there's the Substance 1.5 where it's just Timon and Pumbaa watching the Substance.
Being horrified by the substance.
Oh my god!
It's just as entertaining.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'd watch that.
Gee, Timon, please, I don't want you to do that to your body.
Hold on, I'm watching this, Pumbaa. Shut up! Shut up! Holy, check out that ass! Wait, what?
I'm, I think we're canonically gay, so I'm not really into it.
Maybe you are. It means no worries for the rest of your days.
Oh my god, the Substance.
The Substance.
That's
the same
except.
Yeah.
Anyway, her show gets canceled, or so we think. But Harvey is basically like, no, we got to get you off the morning show. We have to put you on the New Year's show.
What you felt with this guy, is she going to go on the date? This is where I felt taken out of it, where I was like, she didn't notice when she was getting ready that there was no one there. She goes,
or they set them all up and then stop the show to be like, you got to go talk to the boss, honey.
Or leotard. He wants to see you now. I know we didn't really mention it, but like the belly button thing, I mean, we did talk about it, but like the belly button thing really affected me heavily, to the point that I do have to do this. Like anytime somebody's reaching inside their own belly button in any movie, I can't handle it. As soon as she pulled out the first chunk, I'm like, that's a chicken wing. And then I was like, oh, this is dumb now. This is now a cartoon, where she's like, it like turned into like a cartoonish anime. I'm like, okay, this is fine.
It's like a turkey leg. That thing is.
It's a drumstick.
It's so a drumstick, guys.
It's just so nasty.
Could be a chicken
wing.
What did I say? Chicken wing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a chicken wing. I didn't mean.
No,
may as well be a chicken wing.
It's
You'll
not
never live
about
this
the
down.
size. I'm just saying it makes it worse.
It does make it worse, yeah, because it's.
It
bigger.
also is an allusion to like giving birth or something to like a dead something. Like it was visceral in a lot of ways.
I think it was more just like a motif to gluttony or something. Like it was like it was meant to be like, she's been treating herself poorly and that's affecting me now.
See, what I thought it was a metaphor for when people get like Brazilian butt lifts or whatever, and they get their fat sucked out. Like you eat the chicken when it goes straight to your hips. That's the saying, and then you have to like yank it out through really gross medical methods. Only you can't do that. So
I'm gonna say,
pulling at
Jason, I'm making a call here. Noel is right, and the two of us, we misread what this was about.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm down.
You're calling it audible, right?
Yeah. No, that makes way more sense than what I was saying. It's a metaphor for gluttony, and you're like, no, it's a metaphor for something worse. I'm like, oh yeah, true. That's way more.
Everything in this movie. In fact,
cool.
is a
I was
for
right,
worse.
Guys. Mark the day. Buy a lottery ticket. It happened. It finally happened.
What did Jason say? It's about giving birth to a chicken or something?
No,
I can't remember.
But I just saw it as like a giving birth to something dead.
I was just joking.
Giving birth to something dead is where I went with it. But basically what she's going to do is, now that she has to plan and prepare for months for this New Year's show, she's going to have to steal all the life out of Elisabeth for months. And then we see the hole in Elisabeth's back, and it's getting so gross.
Yeah.
And the needle goes in a little slower every time too. It's they zoom in a little bit more, and it's a lot. But when Elisabeth comes to life again the next time, when she comes back, she's just half witch. She's got a witch's leg and a witch's arm, and her face is starting to go pretty gnarly.
I have a question. The bottles that she had, were they like mason jars?
Yeah, just whatever bottles she could find.
Just a
Very-
whole bunch of mismatched bottles, right?
Just a bunch of vessels, yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I like that too.
I don't know why.
It makes
but
me
I
think
found
about
it-
like if I had I thought about it for myself, and I was like, if I had to fill as many containers with witch goo, like spinal witch goo that I could, it would be mostly a bunch of like marinara sauce containers that I've turned into drinking cups, and then a bunch of pint glasses, and then a bunch of
Smucker's jars.
yeah, and like pots and pans, and I'd be like, well, this one's still got some witch juice in it.
It was the most and only relatable thing in this whole movie.
Yeah,
was
she didn't have
the
a bunch of
jar.
uniform jars. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, we had too many mugs and glass cups at one point. I was like, Madison, we got to get rid of these mason jars, and she's like, I'll pare them down a bit, and we still have a third shelf that's just like
Sorry.
mason jars that'll never get used.
Is your wife a millennial woman? Because
Yes,
She's
That's-
preparing for the day when she needs
that's-
to substance herself.
that's us.
Yeah.
Because Trevor is always trying to get me to get rid of some of the 10,000 mugs.
You know what's a big thing in our house that I'm always trying to get rid of is Ziploc bags, like the big ones.
But think about how much witch juice you could put in those.
right.
Yeah. Mine would be also I'd be filling it full of like iPhone cases and my laptop boxes and Xbox
Yeah.
boxes and stuff.
I'm not allowed to keep those because we live in 800 square feet, so I can't have
Yeah.
a video game store on a shelf.
I didn't understand why I kept them for so long either. I don't understand. Like once I got rid of them, I was like, I feel like liberated, or I'm like, oh, I don't have to keep this box for
Yeah,
this thing that I bought.
I get that too. Now that I just get rid of them. Jack Schwackhammer just says, "What's up?"
What's up,
He
Jack?
must be a
Wackhammer?
millennial.
That's Jack Quaid. His dad was in this movie.
I
It's
just
true.
like missed all of that, so I'm gonna have a great time going back trying to figure out what you guys were talking about there. So
Just not being
Fantastic.
able to get rid of boxes for
no,
like.
no, let me figure
high-priced
it out what I listened to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never
we
mind.
need the
Getting
listen,
rid of
so
nothing and everything all at once.
everything everywhere all at once. So she tries to call the substance again and reverse the experience, but it's permanent. What happens to yourself, same self, happens to if you die in the movie, you die in real life. So,
He does say that
So-
at one point.
there's the scene where she's all mangled and her leg is arthritis. This made me
Because she
cringe.
wants to get up to look at her present that she got. She's like,
Yeah.
what's in the book? What's in the book?
But this is where I had already noticed the sound design was good, but here it was like I was listening to it on headphones and just a leg locking in place. I had seen this movie and I thought it went and like burst or something, but it
It
didn't.
looks like it has a bunch of like growths on it. So you're worried it's going to do like a crazy Evil Dead style pop and like there's going to be goo that flies across the room. So you're kind of like, ugh. But she's also very much in pain where she's like, I just need to straighten this, like the Tin Man, like I need to
Oil can. It reminds me of trying to bend the old Barbie knees,
Yeah,
like the
know what you
millennial
mean.
child Barbie knees.
Yeah.
And you hear that
Yeah.
click, click.
That's what my knees sound like now. I think all of our knees probably sound like that now.
when I do squats,
They were
When I
trying
do
to prepare
squats,
us.
it's like
Those
click,
Barbies were trying to
click.
prepare us when we were kids for what our millennial knees would sound
Yeah.
like in 20 years.
I had these
Wow.
wrestling figures in the late 90s that had bone crunching action, and when you move their arm, it makes like a click, and it's
Yeah.
the exact same.
The WWF has now come out with bone crunching action.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, in my
Hmm.
wrestling days, I had bone crunching action, so my knee's been messed up for like 8 years.
oh, this guy
Like,
wants to know what was in the book. Okay,
tore
so
my MCL.
she
A
finally-
coupon to Goop
yeah. She
with the
cracked-
Gwyneth
That's
Paltrow company.
Funny.
she,
Well
Let's all
done.
sun our,
guy.
we're all gonna sun our perineums.
she finally straightens her knee out and she's able to go open the book. And it's not written by Gwyneth Paltrow, but it is Goop, the novel, written by some guy. She finds out how to make the most disgusting, like fattening food. Like, and I like this part because she's like struggling to read. Like she's like has to put the book right in front of her face and she's squinting. I think that Demi Moore was like, what do old people have problems with? Standing and looking at stuff clearly. And she was I think she did a good job. But I love the cooking montage. I think this is my favorite part in the movie. It's very gross, but it's not gross where I have to look away. Kind of gross.
This was the worst.
It's interesting gross.
This was
and it's also
worst part.
It's kind of a dig at French cuisine too, because it's like everything in this book looks terrible and gross, but it's like real stuff, like awful. And the chicken that she makes, and there's just so many. The sausages that she's making that I think are supposed to be blood sausage.
Why did French cuisine get a drive-by there?
Right? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think the food sounds disgusting. I think it's like the way the movie is presented.
It's shot.
Yeah. If you were to go into a restaurant and order that, it wouldn't be disgusting. It's that she's making like a ton of it all at once. And the way they're shooting it is like, we're gonna make it look like it's being cooked at like a deli or something, or like a shitty highway diner or something. Like she's just throwing, and she's like proud of herself, like, ooh, look at all this nasty shit I'm making. I think she's trying to recreate the chicken wing thing, but like this is what I was thinking, is that like she's gonna go on stage and she's just gonna do the thing from Monty Python where she explodes, like a bunch of food like squirts out of her. I was still not fully convinced that those things were hallucinations and not real, at least some of them, right?
Yeah, I thought she was trying to fuck with the younger one and be like, oh, you didn't like that? Well, guess what?
How about
I'm gonna cook every single food all over the apartment.
I'm now going to fill you to the brim with duck foie gras.
Was another one, yeah. It would have been crazy if she went and removed the food matrix and just started jamming food in her mouth.
Oh God!
Which is what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. That's a good call, Jason. Though that's scary, though.
It's super scary because I've seen this movie and I blocked so many things out. Because I
figured she was just going to keep eating,
troubling.
And then it would like cause her mental distress, which it did. It absolutely did. But I do like this is sort of like them kind of having a conversation without having a conversation, because while she's cooking, she's on the late night television show, and the guy is asking all these like cheeky questions, being like, so we have to ask, did you ever watch Elisabeth Sparkle's show? And she's like, well, no, I grew up in a country home in Indiana. She says like a bunch of bullshit because she's not.
But
real,
she did
right?
say that she grew up with her, whether she wanted to or not.
Or not.
She was everywhere.
Because my mom was a big fan of her. Yeah. Because her mom is her. It's her mom, basically. This is almost like if a daughter and mother were to like be forced to be daughter and mother without having any sort of like decades-long relationship where you form an actual bond.
That's a thing.
Yeah, like your estranged daughters back in your life, and you both hate each other immediately.
It's your Snow White. It's your Cinderellas, where you're forced to be in that situation. They're not stepmothers in the original stories. They're just mothers, and they just soften the blow later and turn them into stepmothers. But like, tale as old as time.
What I mean to say is, like, most healthy families, like, they will still have this combative relationship when, people are older. Like, I have combative relationships with my parents. Most people do. But we also have an entire childhood of being raised by them that, like, we know that we can basically say whatever we want to each other without it actually crumbling the relationship. Whereas this is like, imagine you popped out a 26-year-old with all of their own opinions and values and differing sort of like ideals, and then having to just get along with them. Like, it wouldn't work really, especially if you have to support each other. That would be a nightmare. That's what this movie's about, guys. It's frightening to think about.
I agree.
Because like you can
What-
you can get along with some Gen Zs, but not all of them. So imagine you just like popped in and had to like coexist with one who had to feed you for 7 days while you were asleep, and you had to do the same.
That's why it's the all about Eve thing, where you do sprout a 26-year-old who you are like, you may even bring into the fold and start to mentor, and then they take over your shit and they hate you. You should see All About Eve.
Yeah,
I will.
Jason, it's good because that
I will.
it is basically like this tale, just not as gooey.
There's
a little bit of song as old as rhyme. Where are we at? She feeds herself.
So on Suicide, she finds the place destroyed and starts filling jars with the replacement stabilizer goo. She's like fed up, and then
I forgot when she's
that's like
stuffing
a
the turkey to
just
keep
3
it
months worth, and we get a 3-month jump. It's just 3 months later. Poof. The New Year's show is coming up, and the switchover goo has run out, and the last one she pulls is just like this like black sludge, which I thought that was horrifying to me.
Yeah,
and we see like that like a whole bunch of food matrices are just used up all around, strewn all around her in the mausoleum. And
which means she's been going and picking up that many weeks worth of refills, because you only get those from the refill packs, right? So all those, that's where I was like, oh, that's how much time has passed. Every one of those represents at least 1 week.
So they must share some memories.
Yeah, because she knows where to go. Like she knows, or yeah.
Which I think makes it even grosser. If there's some things that they hold on to.
Yeah, a little bit of like weird crossover. Maybe that's what those horrifying moments are. Like when she's like, the chicken thing is like, that's the memory bleeding over, is like her eating all the chicken.
I have a theory.
Oh my God, we can finally hit it. Jason, hit it.
I will. I'll hit the theory theme. I'll hit it right now.
Theories.
So, my theory is that, you know how when they're smashed together into one like blob human, like as a physical sense,
yeah, like
I think that their consciousnesses have been smashed together into like psychological monsters, and that's what like is destroying them mentally, and then the physical embodiment of that happens afterwards.
Yeah, I saw that too, as like that's their inner ugliness sort of manifesting. And the younger self is much uglier, and Elizabeth's face is like she's screaming. She's I have no mouth and yet I must scream sort of monster, but she's still, her face is there. I think she's slightly
I thought of it more of a sleepaway camp face.
Yeah.
Sleepaway Camp. Anyone familiar?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Oh fuck. I don't know if I agree with that, but at the same time, I don't disagree. I think it's like maybe at the beginning, that was when their consciousness is separated. So she might have all of her memories from before, but not necessarily while they're swapping back and forth. So she would know the address because she went there. The only reason I say that is because they seem so confused all the time between each other's lives.
Yeah, but it can't be perfect. It's like when the eggs were smashed together, like you see that smashed together so much that that's what I'm thinking. Like it's not just the body smashing together, it's the mind smashing together.
So maybe when they go back, maybe when they're transferring, there's like a little bit of residual information that passes. Okay. I can get beyond that, because it does seem like they're always very confused, but maybe that's what the motorcycle thing is like.
Yes, exactly. Like pieces of what the other one is doing, but manifesting itself in a monstrous way in their memories.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree now. We can move on. I agree.
She's melting down. Her nose.
As long as I agree, we can move on.
Yep. There's no more.
He has spoken.
She passes out and almost switches back. She almost passes out and switches back. She's like having a meltdown. Basically, it's like she's right on the precipice. I think, is this where she calls Yeah, she calls and she's like, "How do I do?" And they're like, "Well, you have to reboot the sequence by doing the switch." That's when the secretion reboots. And she's like, "Fine," and does it. And when Elisabeth comes back out of it, it's been months, and she's a monster. She's like a hag, like a hag from legend.
She's the crone from Snow White.
Yeah, she looks like the actual witch from Snow White.
Actor
also,
Tom Cruise is 64 today, according to Kenneth Russell 1158. Thank you.
So he's also a crone. Wow.
Yeah.
He reached his croning day. Also, like at the beginning of the sequence,
he's on his Cronenberg.
At the beginning of the sequence, we see like the roses are there, and it says like "break a leg." We're gonna.
I know you could do it.
We're gonna love you, and then like at the beginning of the movie,
or they're gonna love you.
At the beginning of the movie, it was the same sort of set of roses, and it was like "Happy birthday, we loved you." Like it's like, you know, basically she's dead to them. Like you might not get another one next year, but then she also has like a really hairy butted boyfriend or whatever that's in this sequence who has like a big meaty ass. And I like this because I'm like, is he gonna have to fight this witch? And then he runs away like a coward. So I don't know how to feel about that.
So not like the end of Sleeping Beauty where the dragon and
yeah, no,
I would like to point out that the new boyfriend is like the most jacked, chiseled, beautiful man.
Bro, Sleeping Beauty, the 7 days of sleep and the I'm so tired, guys.
No,
what? You telling me this is a fable like I've been saying the whole time?
No.
It's not. It's like a fable like I'm saying right now.
But which fable? I was just, centering the
every fable. All
I think it's all of them. Like this is also like imagining like what if Ariel had a fish top and a human bottom? That's what the end of the movie means.
Yep.
A question we've been wondering for years and years and years.
I'm not a boy, so no, I wasn't wondering that.
Do you think the thing's got a rock cock? That's more of a Kevin Smith.
Here's the thing.
Elizabeth calls to stop the experience. They're going to deliver, which is very ominous. She pulls the picture back into the living room, the big portrait, and goes into town. All like she can't get up, and she trips and can't get up. But then she starts to get like superpowers, like paranormal powers. When
it's like the way I visioned it is like, when you like they say like a mother can lift a bus to save their dying child or whatever. It's like, yeah, if you think you're gonna die, you get hit with so much adrenaline, you can just do crazy shit that you never thought ever impossible. And that's what she's trying to do, is save herself from death. But at this point, she's so far gone, right? Like she's I love it, but like she is scary looking. Like she's like she looks like one of the harpies from Skyrim or whatever, like she's terrifying. When she's going down the hall and she's like, oh, it's so disturbing.
It's almost like a fable.
It's almost like it's some sort of fable. Yeah. The horrors of aging. We're all scared of it.
But she goes and she puts on her shawl and her jacket and her leggings. And goes
I don't know why can't you guys just say Dick Tracy coat? Like that's what it is.
Is it the same yellow jacket? Oh, it is the same.
I haven't mentioned the jacket at all.
Just say it, Dick Tracy coat.
I'm not even talking about the
coat. Goes to do the mystery of getting the termination serum.
You guys.
He's got to go face baby face and flat top and big lips and fish breath or whatever.
Big nose Malone or whatever.
His nose is a boob.
Well, now the irony is that she now looks like a Dick Tracy villain at the end of this. The hag.
She's Hag Jones.
Hagrid
Jones. Anyway, she has the termination serum, and she pulls Sue by her legs. Now she's super jacked up.
I love this.
She's just pulling this body across the floor.
This is a Sam Raimi
little
shot if I've ever seen one. Where like the camera's following her and it's like ding, 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 and she's just dragging her, and her head's like boom, boom, boom down the stairs, and she's dragging her with like almost zero effort. She weighs
one leg pull.
Yeah. You know that was like a jacked man in like a weird, just wearing the Dick Tracy jacket. You know, like that's why that sequence earlier is. It's like, well, we need to make her wearing clothes.
And also a movie magic like rope that goes like through the arm, so they can just pull with no problem.
I love when that kind of stuff goes on in movies.
Yeah, I love how it goes from her barely able to move to now like she's running around and stuff too, like,
and she's fast, and they're kicking each other across the room. It turns into a Marvel movie for like maybe 15 to 45 seconds.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but before that happens, she gets the termination serum. It's like black. It's this crazy like it says like termination on it. Yeah. And before she can use it, a voice in her head reminds her that, you know, she'll be on her own, and you know, if you know both of you are one, so if you kill the other self, then you're destroying half of your being, basically. I would have kind of liked to see how that went down, but she gets half of the serum down and then has a change of heart because she reminds herself that like she did this so her young self could go and continue the career that she had started in the last 40 years.
Did anyone else think of medically assisted suicide with the thing that like as an old person you just at some point should just choose to turn yourself off?
I did. I was thinking about it the entire time ever since she came out of the shower. And you know when she was refusing before, where she's like, she's still got some life left in her and her knee's all fucked up, and she's like, no, I won't do it. I was like, no. Like I can see how she would still, but like maybe just treat it properly. But like I guess her fear is that like if I go back in, she's gonna really fuck me up, which she did. And at that point, it's like you're so far gone. Why not just like allow yourself to be a husk or whatever, and just like you said, like let me just read in a put a Kindle in my hand and some goggles on my face so I can read it and I'll be fine. But imagine that existence. That wouldn't be great. Just 7 days of, because like you would need to hire someone to feed you. Like if you're because she's getting to the point where she can barely, when she's trying to get out of that room towards the door, it's like she can't even move.
Yeah, because her younger self is fucking her.
Yeah.
Why did she switch back? So every single time that she switches back,
I thought about this the whole movie. I was like, why do you keep switching back to your younger self?
Because they're the same person, and she's addicted to the feeling of being young.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Narcissism and addiction, and
but still, agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the main problem with this movie is that like logically,
it's a fable.
Is that it's a fable? Yes. And like the fact that
it happened medically,
but we can all look at it logically and be like, you would stop probably after the hag finger. Like we would all be like, well, now I have to wear gloves for the rest of my life, I guess.
And just cut it off.
Yeah.
And get the termination serum there and be like, we're done.
Yeah.
This is the slow crawl to deterioration that we all do. I just lost feeling in another part of my body. So now I have 3 parts of my body where the nerves are dead and I don't have any feeling. It's all downhill.
It's all downhill from here. My back will go out if I sneeze or look the wrong way. I'm supposed to play with my boy in a couple of years.
Sorry.
A couple of years.
You were gonna say because you held on to the bee.
It does sound like you're gonna play with a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Well,
or people that are your own age.
I thought he was going to say balls.
But she pulls the resuscitator.
Just give me the substance so I can play with my balls again.
She takes the termination serum out before it's completely done, and then resuscitates her, or tries to, and she does. It doesn't work. So she tries to switch, and then we get a really unique moment where they're both awake at the same time, because this is what I was saying earlier. They've managed to do some sort of sequence where all of these little things that she's done to her other self has made it so they're both awake at the same time. And then they have,
I think it's because she half terminated her. Yeah. And then she performed CPR on her. Yeah.
And she like resuscitated her.
I think
but
this
then
is
they have
go ahead.
No, if you're still talking about this part.
I was gonna say, like,
talk about the fight.
once again, nothing makes any sense. This movie doesn't make, like, there's no science happening here. We don't know how it works. So like, this is just a fun moment to have them both alive at the same time so that they can have a crazy kung fu fight, and they do. And it's
Well,
good.
Sue looks over and sees that the termination serum is like half gone, and she kind of realizes what's going on, and then she just starts attacking, and then they start fighting, and it's the craziest fight I've ever
I mean,
seen.
if you were the substance spawn and you saw that there was a half drained or like more than half drained terminate syringe next to you, you would be like, "You're trying to kill my ass!" Ah!
Yeah.
Like, you would probably do the same. I mean, I maybe would, especially if I was all jacked up on heart juice that you just stuck in me or whatever.
Yeah.
If I realized I could kick you across a room, yeah, we would tango. We would tango hard.
Tango. But yeah, they have a great fight, and then they end up in the bathroom with Sue bashing her face repeatedly against the mirror, and Elisabeth trying to crawl away. We get the Sue kicking her across the room through a glass table, and then starts like just kicking her.
We also get one
And
moment that I was like, oh, they're gonna do the Shining thing, because the bathroom does sort of look like the Shining bathroom. And she's like, she locks the door, and then she's like, like trying to bring over the medicine cabinet or whatever to block the door. And as she's about to put it, the door just explodes. And she flies across the room, and everything goes everywhere. And it's full of like colorful pills and bottles, and like it's like a beautiful thing that you would be like, if this was an illustration, if there's a freeze frame at any moment of this explosion through the door, I would like love to put that on my wall and be like, The Substance, great movie. Remember when the old lady got kicked across the room by the young lady? It's also one of those movies where I'm like, every single moment of the movie where they're trying to make me feel like hot and heavy for the younger version, I'm like, this isn't working, because I fear like a weird gross jump scare, and everything about it is so heavy in the implication that when they're just fighting each other, I actually went down like 20 layers of anxiety, and I was just appreciating the two of them being in the space, knowing that there isn't something weird going to happen because they're just both there. And then I was like, oh, they're both hot. Well, I mean, not at this point. The old lady's scary as fuck, but like, she's hot now because she's just kicking ass and like throwing people around. I'm like, I can appreciate this. I'm not scared of her anymore. Her butt, it no longer makes me fear butts. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's what I was.
It does, yeah.
I wasn't freaking out anymore.
It
But
stops
when we-
going from like a movie that's the psychological plot,
Yeah.
and it starts to feel more like a regular horror film at this point.
And it's just fun, yeah, like them kicking each other around and chasing each other around. It's fun stuff. When she kicks her in the green picture, you're like, oh my god, great.
The last bit of this movie kind of just turns into a horror comedy. But when she kicks her completely to death and she's bleeding out on the floor, they do the classic like person dying where the camera zooms up and out, and then half of her is now dead. So then it's time for the New Year's Eve show. She's feeling the effects of not having her other half. When she gets to the show, she starts experiencing that like slow motion, and she goes to the bathroom and she coughs. She has this weird, like, the cough that she does almost sounds like the hag coughing, and then she spits a tooth out into the sink.
This is a thing where, like, I know how to do these sound voice modulations now, and I was like, I know exactly how they're doing that effect, and I appreciate it, because it's like, there's things you can do. You can make like two people cough at the same time and try and link it up so that they get Demi Moore and her voice going. That would be kind of a cool thing to do, but they just sort of deepened it, but it still works. But yeah, this is when all of her fucking teeth come out, and it looks good.
But then she starts pulling the teeth out, and it's very body horror.
I don't like when, because I mean, I'm sure you guys have had them as well, like dreams where all your teeth fall out for no fucking reason.
Mine are like teeth being pushed back into because when I had braces, I had a lot of nightmares about my teeth being pushed in.
Right. I just have the ones
because
where I'm
of
like, oh, it's finally happening, and I pull it out. And for some reason in my dream, I always am like aware that I'm like, well, my teeth are about to fall out, and then I just pull them out. I'm like, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
That's like exactly what this scene is. Because
Whatever.
one falls out, and then she just starts pulling them out like no problem. She's
Whenever
freaking
I
out.
have that dream, the teeth dream, it always ends with me trying to rush to the dentist.
Oh, I never even consider that in the dream. I'm like, which one's next? And I pull the next one. Sometimes I'm like in just normal. I remember when I was like at a baseball game and I was like throwing my teeth off. I'll be like, whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Then there's the scene where Harvey finds her in the hallway, introduces the shareholders. They all look like the same generic mustachioed bald white man.
Yeah.
And she manages to get through that. And then there's the gross thing where he's like, "You gotta smile." And her face acting here is really good because she does like a good smile, but like without showing teeth. And I really like her, what she does with her face for it. It's like shocking almost. And then she rushes away and gets to an elevator and hits the button, and then her fingernail falls off. She gets in the elevator and her ear just falls off randomly. And
I
then
think the
there's
smile
that
for me is when I'm like, oh, I see what's going on. This movie is now like going. It already went Evil Dead, but now it's going full Evil Dead. Like we're at a point now where like she's freaking out. Everything is meant to be normal around her, but we've already experienced this heightened sense of reality to the point that not like even when like he's like, oh, feathers, and he runs away, and like all the bald businessmen
They're
run
like,
after him, they're all like, ooh, like
Yeah.
they've turned into like all Pepe Le Pews, and you're like, oh my god, this is insane.
And also, the guy gets into the elevator with her, and you can clearly be like, "Oh, you look good tonight," or "I hope you have a good time." You know, but it's like it's very good, and it's very visceral and works really well.
They actually took that soundbite from TTC announcer.
Yeah. Telling you that the next stop is the last stop, and you're like, what? And like, everybody off the train.
Everybody off the train because we've on chocolate before. But she runs outside through some people back to her house where she finds the activator. She has a flash in her head too before this where she's like, the activator. She gets the activator and she uses it and she splits again.
I knew where she was going from the beginning. Like, this is
Yeah.
it. This is when she splits again. I'm so excited to see what happens.
And she turns into a magical girl, and then she goes and has a great time at the gala, and everybody's happy at the end.
I mean, technically she does, because she
that's true.
She turns into a big magical 3-headed girl with boobs coming out of her mouth and mouths everywhere, teeth everywhere, all over
Teeth
her,
everywhere,
mouths all over,
Jan everywhere. An Office reference.
And she then takes Elisabeth Sparkle's face, puts it on her own, staples it there, and
I like that because she goes out to the portrait and she's like chiseling it, like tick, 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 tick. It's so bizarre. But yeah, and then she takes the like poor cutout of the face and puts lipstick on it and glues it to her Akira thing monster face.
Yeah. At first, and she also forces herself back into her dress, which is crazy.
One of the nipples is fully out.
Yeah. And she goes back. This is where I was like, I thought she was going to just die, right? I was like, she'll just die in this apartment wearing the dress with the face of Elisabeth Sparkle on her. I did not. And then I looked at how much time was left and I was like, there's like 25 minutes. What's going to happen with this monster? And then it like monster Elisabeth
Sue.
Yeah.
And green text too, which was great.
Well, that's the color green when you take the substance. And she goes back and they just let her in and everybody's cheering for her. And this is where I started to be like, oh, this is like a dream or something. Because everybody's tits are out. Like every single dancer has their tits out. And like everybody's acting even more elevated than the movie has already represented us to believe it exists within so far. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? It was such a weird. This is where I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I thought that was in the in universe. I thought this was an adult show, even though it's supposed to be on TV.
There's kids in the audience.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even think about that because I was just like, this is the kind of thing Harvey would put on, and maybe in this universe this flies, but
no. What do you think?
It was giving me the end of Requiem for a Dream, where the mom is so far gone and she's just imagining herself in that show, even though she's like in the bed. I didn't, Rory, I'm the podcast, don't you know, dog? Okay.
She's like, Dogcast.
Yeah, rough. But yeah, that's what it was giving. And so this part,
Whoa, Jar Jar's there. That's
Lisa wants to be on the show too.
Lisa podcast is rough. Right,
That's
dog?
my- that's my alerts. Oh my god. Okay, yes. Anyway, this part I thought was fake. This I didn't take in thing.
I think that what Noel is saying is right, where it's like she's maybe not there at all. She maybe died in the apartment. Maybe the whole movie's just not real. But if she did arrive there as a big gooey monster man, then maybe everything that she's seeing is also twisted into what she believes, right? So like everybody having their tits out, for example, is not a thing that would ever happen on a televised event that's being advertised on billboards and stuff. And her whole persona is the opposite of what that would be. So maybe she's now she's going in there realizing like what she's lost by becoming this monster and seeing what she has lost, and maybe that's why she barfs a tit out.
Yeah,
like, here's my booby. And they're like, oh my god,
she has an umbilical cord.
Yeah, and she's also dragging like a sack of muck behind her the whole time, like it's just slowly dragging behind her. I don't think there's I mean, other than like what we think this represents, I don't know what else we can say about it other than that it turns into like the goofiest shit you've like. Snap zooms to the audience members being like, ah, it's a monster, shoot it, kill it. And then they like smash her head apart with a baseball bat, and then she grows another head.
Yeah.
And runs away. All the while Demi Moore's perfect face in the back, like like she's the only thing on the whole body that looks normal.
I love one of my favorite horror moments to this point of all the horror I've seen is her arm breaking and turning into a hose while like just the heaviest like grindcore metal plays and everybody in the crowd are just getting sprayed with blood. I thought that was very cool, like in a music video kind of a way. Like a Guar video would probably have something like this in it.
Yeah, it definitely
or a Guar concert.
It didn't feel like what I was expecting for the end of this movie to be, but neither did the hag versus young person thing. So I was like, I don't know what to expect after a certain point. Her hosing everybody with blood, and then just that hose never turning off was crazy. Like she's just walking around through the hallways, like blasting blood everywhere, and then it cuts to her on the street, and then I think one of her legs just disintegrates, and she falls over and explodes on the sidewalk.
Yeah, she makes it out of the building, and she's walking down the sidewalk, and she trips and falls and just explodes and just into like a splat of viscera. And then her little the Demi Moore face sort of splits off and starts crawling down the road, makes it to the Walk of Fame. And there's a very kind of poignant moment of her on her star looking up at the stars, right? And then she sees the snowfall from earlier when she's first her young self. There's like a glitter falling.
And then she the snow globe that she
in the snow globe. And then she just sort of dissipates.
She turns into the ketchup from the beginning, with the ketchup all over her star at the beginning. She's now the ketchup.
This part was very Death Becomes Her for me.
Yeah.
Their bodies are just like the head upside down, being like, do you remember where we parked the car?
Yeah. I hope that the live version of that comes here. I want to see it so bad.
Yeah, apparently it just closed on El Broadway.
Yeah, so it's going to tour now probably. But yeah, and that's the movie, and the last kind of thing before the credits is just like a sidewalk cleaner, just like cleaning off the star again, and then the substance. And that's the movie, The Substance. And I think that we covered everything, and I had a really good time talking about it with you guys. Sorry that B couldn't be here tonight. I would have liked to hear her insight, but we'll get her next time. I think that we can talk about the home alone of it all.
Okay, jump scare.
Gather round, freaks. Have you ever dreamt of a better podcast? Clearer, more funnier, more betterer. One single episode unlocks your funny bones, starting a new podcast division that will release another podcast. This is Hey, Did You See This One?
If you had to pick one,
What do you think the Home
when
Alone of it
is
all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone of
I
it all
really gotta
happens?
know.
When is the Home Alone of
What
it all?
is the Home Alone of it all? Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
Jump scare again.
Oh no! No! 3D! 3D!
So this is, of course, the segment of the show where we kind of break down our favorite part of the movie and the home alone of it all. Home Alone of It All, of course, is the moment in Home Alone of It All where Kevin McCullough steps up the blueprints to destroy his enemies. We've sort of posited that could be your favorite part of the movie, a segment of the movie you enjoy, or just sort of the good bits. In addition to that, we're going to talk about our sort of final thoughts on the film and our ratings. Noel, at this point, it's I think you've been on 20 times. I think you got it.
I understand.
So why don't you go ahead and give us those things?
Okay, so the traditional Home Alone of it all, I was looking forward to no part of this movie. So it's probably the most defined slapping down the mat. Nope, none of it. If we're going for the alternate version of the Home Alone of it all, just the color design. That's the only thing that brought me out of my horror psycho mentee bee from watching the movie. I just think it's probably the best use of color I've seen in quite some time. And maybe it's because I was paying it more attention to it to try and hold on to a grasp of light in the darkness. But yeah, you did there, bro. That's it.
Final thoughts and rating.
My final thoughts. Even though I don't like this genre, it's a very good movie. I can't recommend it if you don't like body horror. I definitely don't recommend it if you don't like body horror. But if you do find yourself watching it, I can see why it was so hyped up, because it's doing something that's quite stunning, is I guess the way that I would put it, and landed at just exactly the right time, like what we were saying before. So yeah, it's good. And my rating for it is 0 patriarchies out of patriarchy.
That's great. Thank you, Noel. I'm excited to have you on for the rest of the month. We have some really weird movies coming up this time around. So this was a good start, and we can't wait to have you back. Steven.
This movie is good. I like this movie. I think that everything that it's achieving is deserved. It's not accidentally achieving anything that it achieves. I think that all of the moments in this movie that I felt uncomfortable, the things that I didn't like, were designed to do so. And there's a ton of stuff in this movie that would probably make a lot of other people uncomfortable that doesn't make me uncomfortable, but then that's achieving the thing for them. So it's actually achieving a ton of different things for a ton of different people. I can't imagine watching this if every single thing that it does uncomfortably achieved it for you specifically. This would be like a nightmare movie to watch if every single moment they tried to make you uncomfortable, you wouldn't survive. But I think that in terms of taking a concept that has existed since Beauty and the Beast and, brought it into a sort of modern light and shown it from a different perspective, not necessarily like the perspective of a sheepish girl who dreams of a better time or place, but a woman who achieved something great and lost it over time because of fading beauty is pretty great. It's such an interesting way to tell a modernized story while also like super stylizing every single aspect of it. There's not a single corner of this movie that isn't stylized. It's basically like looking at an illustration or a comic book or a cartoon. I've said it a few times through the podcast, and that's why it rules. Like that's one of the reasons why this movie succeeds for me, is that everything is just so strange. The Home Alone of it all for me, I mean, I was looking forward to the transformation a lot, and like it was good, it was interesting, but I don't know if that's the thing that really does it for me. I think that the anticipation of knowing that there was more activation serum in the jar in the cabinet the entire time, waiting for that, was my Home Alone of it all, to see where that would lead, because she didn't throw it out. We know that it's there. I want to see the second transformation, and we got it. And you know, that payoff is what my Home Alone of it all is like this glowing green goo in a cabinet for the entirety of the movie. Even though I enjoyed the rest of the movie as well, that was the thing that I was looking the most forward to. And it didn't disappoint at all. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, and I'm glad that it was something so fucking crazy and toxic Avengery. You know, like it turned into like the mutant from RoboCop shows up at the end of this movie for a cameo. That's great. A rating. I'm going to give this movie a rating of a horror movie that should be placed in the cement of a sidewalk, and it might be squirted on. It might be ketchup might fall on it. People might stop and take a picture with it. But, you know, at the end of the day, it might get covered in a lot of goop. But at the end of the day, it's still there and you can still appreciate it. And I hope that, you know, future generations will stop and admire the star of this movie, because it's pretty great. I don't like saying at the end of the day that much. It's a really easy thing to say, and I don't like
at the end
of the day. I don't like saying it.
My dad said
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
My dad says in the bottom line so much, and I'm like, Dad, you gotta find a different.
I mean, the bottom line. That's maybe I should start saying. That's when we get back.
You can replace that. Yeah, my Home Alone of it all for this episode. It's like almost like the whole movie. Like once the first transformation starts, the first time around that I watched it, I think that the segment where she's like the super monster would have been it traditionally, but this time watching it, it was catching all the like new stuff that I didn't catch on the first time around, and really just being able to analyze it. I think like I watched this movie for the first time and I was like, I never need to watch that again.
You watched it twice,
but I think
right?
Yeah, but my Home Alone of it all is watching it a second time and gaining more knowledge from it.
I wonder if on the third time if you'll realize there's cell phones in it.
No, it's still block it out. This movie takes place in 1986.
Right. Okay.
My final thoughts are just sort of like nothing really changed from the first time. I think it's a solid movie, start to end. I'm just gonna quickly my original review from 2024 is very short. This film is weird, gross, disgusting, poignant, crucial, and I mean all of that in the best way possible. This is probably my movie of the year, but for those that have seen it, I don't think that is a surprise. Some of the cinematography choices in this are so wild it almost feels like a storybook at times. Then you juxtapose that
a fable, if you will.
A fable, if you will, yeah. Then you juxtapose that with all the other stuff going on, and you get a colorful, bright, visceral nightmare. 5 out of 5. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley are incredible. I really hope this film wins every award it's nominated for. Now, it didn't, but it did garner some award season.
It had some tough competition, guys.
It's true.
You can't be upset about it.
It's true. Poor Things was an incredible movie as well. I hope that we cover that on the show one day. It's very weird and horny.
Movie.
Yeah. But I think my actual rating is a single egg yolk that split so many times that it becomes an Akira thing hybrid to the point that everybody vomits green goo.
That would be a huge
I'm going to counter that with, oh my God, a monster! Kill the monster!
Shoot it!
Shoot it! All right. Well, here we are, folks. We reached the end.
I don't get the applause.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to applause you.
Well, you guys always leave me satisfied and wanting more. Is that a reference to The Office? That's it. We got to the end of the show here. There's one last thing we have to do, and that's plug in the old plugin.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and...
That's what she said.
Plug it in.
And Dr. Leon and Mr. Newell. It's funny, we didn't talk about the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of it all, and I saw that you changed, but I didn't want to interject, but that was an element of this too. I think it's a bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But we covered it.
Fable?
Yeah, the fable.
But
Noel,
get it
do you
because Leon Noel backwards. Dr. Leon and Mr. Noel.
I like it. Backwards and forwards. Noel, do you have anything that you want to plug?
Nope. You guys are the best. And my butt.
Yeah. Oh,
Plug my butt.
Jesus Christ. Dr. Stephen Bubble Blackfly Waters.
Yes, my diagnosis is that you should watch the Sonar Network, where I do plenty of voices for all sorts of cartoon characters. I also do the voice of Darth Theorist, the Three-Eyed Theorist, and the Half-Blood Theorist on the internet. YouTube channels. We're doing well. We'd love your support. Please come check them out. We also have another project coming soon on the Sonar Network, which I'll tell you all about as soon as I'm allowed to. I'm pretty sure I accidentally told information I wasn't supposed to last week, so oopsies. Go watch that episode. Other than that, yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Steven's becoming a werewolf. It's really simple. You can find this show right here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube each and every week on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We put up our videos on demand over the following weekend. I don't really have that locked down, and it doesn't really matter because really I want you to watch the live show. But if you want to watch our on-demands, we have 236 episodes that are available to watch. 235, 236 as of tonight. I am the voice of Super Kicked Wrestling here in Toronto. We have the Johnny I Pro show, the Wrestle 6 company in handshake with Super Kicked, doing a show on July 4th on Saturday this week, where I'm going to go and do a bit of a guest spot announcing bit. I'm sorry I didn't pull up the matches, but they're kind of in flux. There's a lot of people on the show. There's going to be Killa Priest from Wu-Tang Clan is going to be there, and Rex, another rapper. Lots of local indie wrestlers from Super Kicked, Maple Leaf Wrestling, and TNA are all going to be on this card. Also, Santina Morella is going to be there of WWE fame. We're also going to have a meet and greet with the Demolition and Tito Santana. They're both going to be in attendance. So come down to the Superkick Studios on St. Helens here in Toronto to see that on Sunday. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. I kind of stepped outside my comfort zone to get myself booked on this as the announcer. Normally, I'm not like, can I be the announcer? But I would like to do more voice acting, so I feel like I should reach out and get out of my comfort zone as an announcer, and hopefully.
Wait, you're reaching out of your comfort zone as an announcer to do announcing?
Yep.
Oh, I see.
I'm doing my best.
I understand.
Like a fable.
Like a fable.
The logic
then-
is there.
yeah. The moral of the story is do what you're good at and forget everybody else.
Yeah.
And
Blow up and pretend like I don't know nobody. Yeah. But just before we get out of here, I want to let you all know that Stephen Bubble Black Five Waters makes a lot of really cool illustrations for this channel. We haven't had a new one in a long time because he's a very busy man. However, we have a myriad of t-shirt ideas, but things you can
like
get right now from-
Waluigi's indoor pistachio playground, or what do they call it?
That's the playground, which is on the list. But right now you can get Corporal Tunnel Syndrome. You can get that on a shirt. You can get the Howie Mandela effect. You can get the hit t-shirt, the Grimoire Familiar Killers, which is almost 100% out of date as of October. But you can also get the Eldritch Millennial, which is being pushed hard by the YouTube algorithm. I'm talking to them about why that's the only one they let me put up. Our new bestseller is actually Kill-Aid, because Twinkerbell has a lot of shirts sold, but Kill-Aid, for some reason, people are buying that.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a great shirt.
Look at him. He's breaking through a wall. Diddling, diddling.
Yeah. Wait, what does he say?
He says,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Chef's Fingers.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, Papa Pia. But there is one question that needs to be asked each and every week. And our guest always asks that question. Noel, could you ask that question for us right now?
Of course. Hey, did you see this one?
Wow. So,
Wow.
how long until we can start this parade?
well,
as long as there's
Mr.
past-
Luigi, Mr. Waluigi, what's your name?
Waluigi.
Indoor pasta parade.
It's time to start the parade. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go!
No, I'm not going to leave it there. You got to say more things in the Waluigi voice.
Why aren't we? Okay, I'll go. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The parade is going to be delayed because this pervert behind us won't start the start button.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.